your host, A60, and it's been a while since I've been on, but we're back, and we're gonna do things a little different tonight. So I want everybody to tune in and get ready because it's going down. We're gonna talk about a few things. We're gonna change a few things up, but more importantly, we're gonna talk about that A60 reunion that took place, and we're gonna talk about how it was a great turnout. And I want to give special shout outs to a few people. Got to give a shout out to Jamila and Jamal for helping out this year. Regina, Alma, the whole Mr. T family for helping out this weekend, and everybody who participated in making everything possible. Kilo, I saw you on them burgers. I didn't get one. You still owe me a burger, but everybody who chipped in to help out this year, I really appreciate it and showed sort of love. It was a great way to spend my 50th with my friends and family back at home. Shout out to JB and the Bees, Peterkin for playing, Kenny Kings, the Brooklyn family. It was just an amazing weekend. I want to give a special shout out and prayers go out to my boy John, who actually tore both his knee patellas. I know a lot of people ask questions about him. He's back home. He's actually back home and he's doing well. But he is home now, and I know that's not a good way to go. But and when I say go, being that he got hurt, but my guy, shout out to you, John, for being a trooper. And my friends and family, we're sending our prayers to you as always. Um, but things happen. I'm with him. That guy's been supportive. He actually created the A60 jersey this year, which was great. I actually did a jersey swap with JB. Um, but other than that, it was a great turnout. We had a lot of fun. Um, John creates a lot of the logos for A60 and also the lot lizards and all the jerseys that we wear. So salute to him. Salute to John. Salute to your health, my brother. And can't wait to get you back on that field. And shout out to my lot lizards family who's playing at 8 o'clock tonight. And I wish them luck. I told them I had to do this interview, so that's why I'm not there at the game. Um, but enough talking. We switching it up tonight, and then I'll give some more shout outs as it go. We're gonna switch it up tonight, so I ain't gonna say two more. We're gonna switch it up tonight.
All right, what's going
Big
on,
J,
bro?
what's up, Eddie?
How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, but I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm great, bro. Great. I'm here with you. I'm great, and I'm here to let the people know tonight. Yeah, we switching it up. We switching it up tonight. Tonight is gonna be brother Alvin Pierce is gonna get interviewed tonight. We doing it different tonight. He ain't the host tonight. Big Jake's the host tonight.
You're taking over, right?
I'm taking over
Taking
tonight,
over.
man. But first and foremost, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to have to be able to interview you. I know you could have got a whole lot of people to do this interview, and I'm just grateful, man, that you allowed me to do it, and you deserve it. You've been the interview guy now for 6 years.
Yeah.
And you've done a great job with that. No, you've done a great job.
Thank you.
You've allowed a lot of us to come on and tell our stories and tell about our life history and where we started and how we got to where we are at the point of the interview. And you've done a fantastic job. I want to just let you know that you have done a great job.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I was honored to be a part of that. But I'm really honored tonight to do this interview. We've been talking about this for a little while.
We have been.
We've been talking about it for a little while.
This is supposed to be in person.
Yes, it was. Right.
It's my fault.
right. This was supposed to be in my backyard. We were supposed to be smoking some cigars and
right.
and chilling and you know refreshments and chilling,
That's
but
right.
it didn't happen. It
That's
is
right.
what it is, and it's happening like it is tonight.
That's right. Keep it on ice.
You know what I'm saying? Um, we got a little pause there. I don't know why, but it's a little pause there.
No, everybody still hear you and going.
Okay,
So you guys worry about everything
okay.
still flowing.
Don't worry about that.
No,
Okay,
let's roll.
so we gonna get started. We gonna get right into it, man. We ain't gonna do a whole lot of chit chat. We gonna get
I'm
right
ready.
into it,
I'm ready.
and we want to hear about early Al. You know, about young Al. We want to hear
Uh,
how you know how you came up, how you you know where did it start for you as a child? Where, you know, where was you raised early on? Like, I want to hear about early Al.
you know, my early on, I'm a Crown Heights kid. Born and raised Crown Heights. Um, I don't know if anybody remember this hospital, and I hope I'm not pronouncing this hospital wrong. From what I was told, I was born at Utica Hospital. Now, I think that's somewhere over there somewhere. Uh, but I am a Crown Heights guy. I grew up on Montgomery between Rogers and Nostrand. That's where everything started for me with my grandparents, my grandmother and grandfather, who had me. I'm a grandbaby's kid. That's who took me in at an early age. Uh, Went to public school, 161 over there on Crown Street. Then I went to junior high school. Then I also went to high school. I went to three different high schools. Like I said, that's a whole nother story. And there's a story behind each school too. So, but I'm a Crown Heights kid. Um, that's where I'm from. That's where all I remember. That's where all the baseball, basketball, football, hopscotch, whatever you name it, I did it.
Okay.
It all started from right there with all my friends and family. Shout out to my Crown Heights family. They already know what it is. And then it transitioned, of course, to Bed-Stuy. So you tell me where you want to go from here.
All right. Well, you know that's good to know where you got started at. You know, uh, let's jump right into junior high school, man. Where'd you go to school at? Where were some of your schools?
I went to, like I said, public school 161, which is on Crown Street. Then I went to junior high school Lefferts. They called it Atwell,
Mm-hmm.
61. Shout out to my LP family, Midnight Express family. They already know what it is. That's where I started honing in on pretty much a lot of the skills as far as playing basketball, football. Shout out to my boy Bert for making me play from sewer to sewer football with the Nerf. He was the quarterback, so that's I learned how to catch in small places between them cars. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
All right.
Um, that's where everything pretty much started at. But Lefferts is where everything was pretty much groomed at. Lefferts Park was where I was groomed at in Lefferts Park. So my Lefferts Park family, shout out to Tree, shout out to everybody that had a big part. Shout out to Howie. Oh, Jake went out. Jake, you went out.
Went out.
Hold on, let me see where you at. Yeah, you went out. Your screen went out, brother.
Come on, put it back. Whatever you doing.
It's all right, everybody. We got time. We ain't going nowhere. This is all right. It's just a lunch break. There you go.
There we go.
There you
Oh, you
go.
see me?
Yeah, I see you. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Everybody see you.
All right. Okay.
So shout out to my Midnight Express basketball family. They
Mm-hmm.
knew I was a baseball guy. Howie, shout out to Howie, my very first basketball coach, who put me in the game. So, what else you want to know, big dog? I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm
Listen,
ready.
listen. Where did you this sport start? Like, where did the sport start for you? What sport did you start with first? You know, like Was it baseball? Was it football? Was it basketball? Was it, what
It,
started with you first?
it definitely, you know what? People gonna laugh at this one. It was actually punch ball, if you remember
Okay.
that.
All right. Yeah, 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 yeah. We all did that. We all did that.
It
We
was
all did that.
actually punch ball.
All right.
We played. Shout out to my boy Jimmy U and Pop. We played in the park. PS 161.
Mm,
Punch ball got me into baseball.
okay.
Because you had to catch. I mean, you only had to hit with your fist, but you still had to
Mm-hmm.
catch that little handball.
Right.
But I got into baseball because of that, but I really got into baseball deeply because of my grandfather. He was a big Mets fan,
Yeah.
and he loved Darryl Strawberry. Um, uh, he was a big baseball fan, big, and I mean he loved Darryl Strawberry and Dwight Gooden,
Mm,
and I wanted to follow him. I wanted to make him happy, and that's why I did it. And my first team that I tried out for was a team called the Mets. Ironically, on Mega Evers. If everybody ever been to Mega Evers College, they field used to be all concrete at the
right.
particular moment. Now they got schools on there now, but that's where I tried out at. And first position I tried out for was center field. Never picked up a glove, never threw a ball, nothing. Um, Happened to make the team, and that's where it started. It started right then and there.
And who was so who was instrumental in that? Like who got you to that?
My grandfather. My
Grandfather.
grandfather. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have played baseball at all. If
So
it wasn't
baseball
for
was
him,
baseball was your first sport.
that's my first love. Still my first love. It'll always
Okay.
be my first love.
Okay.
That was my everything. And I think I did baseball. And I'll be honest with you, it didn't push me like football or basketball. It pushed me because it was in my growing up. It was harder
Mm-hmm.
because you had to learn how to catch. You had to learn how to throw. You had
Mm-hmm.
to field. You had to hit. And there's different pitches. You got to learn. You got to do everything.
Right.
And that's what made me be more competitive in sports because of baseball. That's why it was something that I took on. No training, no private lessons.
Mm.
I did all this. I tell my son this story too. I did all this from playing RBI baseball.
I listen. I hear you. I'm not surprised, man. Yeah.
RBI baseball was my coach. I learned
Okay.
how to hit, field, everything from just
Okay.
playing that baseball game. RBI baseball. That was my game. Yep.
Okay. So how did you get into the football? That was just something that you did, or
Football was something that we did. Growing up, you play every sport.
right?
And in the neighborhood, it was Nerf. It started with the Nerf, and I was always fast. So all I had to do was catch and run.
Okay.
But at that particular moment, I didn't want to get hit, so I had to dodge a lot of people, and I was little. So
Right.
football became a part of baseball. I had to catch the ball in baseball. Got to catch the ball in football. If you want to play, you got to
Yeah.
catch the ball.
There you
If you
go.
can't catch,
Right.
you ain't playing.
That's right.
So that's how I got into football. Same thing with basketball. Fourth grade, I saw a couple of guys, friend of mine's playing. I wanted to play, and they said, "Come on." It was all defense first, and then it started with dribbling, then shooting, then of course dunking later on. But it was a process, with everything. But I did it because I was following my friends, and that's how I did it.
Okay. Well, they was all involved in the sports, and that's a beautiful thing, man.
Mhm.
When did you start playing? Young competitive sports.
I honestly want to say competitive when I played basketball because baseball was competitive. We used to play on 149th and Grand Concourse with my boy Cito. We did all the traveling up there, but that was then. That was competitive then. Um, but it it never changed anything. It was just competitive right then and there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, because he had us all over the place in baseball, all over the place. I mean, we played
Okay.
behind Yankee Stadium. We played parade grounds. We played
Mhm.
Five Diamonds when it was, I played with the, cadets and all that type of stuff. And that's different teams, but baseball was where I really did competitive. And then I jumped into basketball. I wasn't always good in basketball. Like I said, it was a process to get to that moment. But being competitive was it started with baseball being competitive, and that was early ages. I want to say maybe 10, 11 years old. 10,
Okay.
11.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
We gonna jump a little bit.
Okay, let's do it.
Gonna jump a little bit because I guess you played in your junior high school years.
I did.
You played some baseball. Was you playing basketball in your junior high school years?
I actually the funny story about basketball. Like I said, I did defense. I had the pleasure of playing on a sixth grade team at junior high school 61. I was the only sixth grader playing with eighth graders.
Hmm.
Shout out to Sherwin Anderson, who eventually went to. Oh man, I'm sorry, Sherwin, for not mentioning your school. But Sherwin was one of the top guards in the country. Went to Bishop Lachlan. Um, yeah, I'm so sorry, I can't remember his college he went to. But anyway, I was playing with him. I was the glass guy coming off the bench. I made the cut at the last cut. Actually, I got cut. And the coach brought me into the office. Shout out to Mr. Rizzo. He said, "Listen, everybody wants you on the team. You ain't gonna play that much, but everybody wants you. So I can't cut you." So I said, "Okay. I mean, that's fine as long as I'm learning." That was always
Right.
my goal, to
Okay. Yeah.
learn. And when we get up by 15, 20, 25, you know how it is. I
Yeah.
got in the game
Got you.
just for
Got you.
defense.
Got your chance.
Got a shot.
Yeah.
And then after that, that's when I really started taking it more serious. I actually caught my first dunk in the sixth grade.
Wow.
Sixth grade. My first
Wow.
dunk in the sixth grade. At that time, I'm five. I was 5'7" then.
Yeah.
So I caught my first dunk. I tell my son that all the time. He's not dunking now. I said, "Dude, I was dunking way before you, so you're in trouble."
Right. He's still playing catch up.
But he all right. He'll get there. He'll get there.
Right.
He'll
Right.
get there. He'll get there. But it started sixth grade, skipped seventh, went straight to eighth, and it just took it from there. But at that time, I'm still playing competitive baseball.
Okay.
Basketball is just a hobby,
Right.
but I'm still playing baseball. Like I'm going to baseball games, leaving baseball games to come and play basketball games.
Right. Right. Yeah. That's
You
kind of
know?
how I did it. That's kind of
Yeah.
how.
So
Yeah.
shout out to Howie who let me do both because it wasn't easy, but he let me do
Right.
both. He let me travel. I would come with the big bag with all my equipment and change and go. So you know, get your paper together. Get your paper together.
Oh, she's asking me for something. So high school.
Yeah.
When did you play high school baseball too?
I did play high school baseball for Wingate High School for 2 years. Played for my guy, Mr. Hallisey, who actually was a member of Brooklyn. Uh, I think they're still looking for my ball out there in Canarsie High School that I hit about 400 feet. You know what I'm saying? I think they're still looking for it. And I think after that, I struck out the next two times. That dude ain't throw me a fastball after that. He threw me a fastball after that.
He was curveballing you after that.
Man, the dude, Spanish dude was not letting me get nothing. And
Uh,
but it was all right though. I got a chance to hit it out, so I was fine with the first at bat. I was good after that.
hey,
But I did play baseball in high school for 2 years. I never played high school basketball, and when I say never played high school, I never played for Wingate. I
okay,
actually moved to boys. I moved to Bed Stuy at the age of 13.
okay.
My mom's decided. It's funny. She moved on my birthday and left me. Yeah, let me tell you. I went to a baseball game, came back, they was already moved. This is no exaggeration. My grandmother was out of there. I got
Wow.
up that morning, had a game in Prospect Park. She said, "Where you going?" I said, "I'm going to my baseball game." She said, "Well, we might not be here." I said, "Yeah, whatever. You ain't leaving me." I came back home about 7, 8 o'clock that night. Everybody was gone. Furniture,
Lock,
everything.
door lock, everything.
No, nothing. Everybody.
Wow.
The only way I got back, I didn't even know where we was living. I did not even know
Oh, oh.
the OGs on the block. Shout out to my OGs on the block. Say, hey, this is where they went. You get on this bus and you get off on this stop. That's the only way I knew where we were going at the age of
Wow.
13. No
Unbelievable.
exaggeration.
Wow. Unbelievable.
So went
Unbelievable.
to went to Boys High. Didn't play basketball there. They wanted me to play football, and I'll tell you a funny football story. You know, when you're in gym class, you play that little football in the middle, in between. Boys High had the middle. They had the lock. They had different areas. But anyway, we out there doing our day. Yes, he went to Xavier. He went to Xavier. Yes,
Okay.
yes, he did. Shout out to my boy Crime. He went to Xavier. He went to what I was saying was we played there, boys, girls, the football game. So the coach was always coming out to watch me play. He said, "Oh, you need to play football." I'm like, "Man, I don't, I've never played with no pads." So I was like, "Nah, football ain't my thing. I like playing for fun." Next day in gym class, they had the starting quarterback, starting wide receiver, starting running back. We all playing a scrimmage game in the
Mm-hmm.
gym. And I was with them. They wanted me to play with them. So the coach can see how, I guess, watch me. So of course, I'm doing my thing. We playing rough touch. So, I'm doing my thing, shaking everybody, whatever, whatever. He said, "Come out to football
Mm-hmm.
practice." I said, "Man, I really don't want to come out to no football practice." He said, "What, you scared?" I said, "I ain't scared of nothing." I said, "I just never played with pads. So you asking me to play with something I've never played with." Oh, I go out to the practice. He's throwing passes. So, it rained the day before. So, in football, you still play in
Right.
the rain.
Practice in the rain. That's right.
So he's throwing the football in the mud on purpose. So I'm catching the ball, but I'm stepping. I'm not running through the water. I'm catching it and then stepping over the water. So he's like, "Why are you not running through the water?" I said, "Why am I gonna get wet if I can catch it before that?" So he thought I was a smart ass. So then we go into the gym. We doing 6 inches,
Right. Right.
raising your
Okay.
legs. He's stepping on everybody's stomach. So he comes by me and steps on my stomach like he walking to the bathroom.
What?
I said, "I quit." That was the end of my football career in high school. I was like, "This ain't football. I came here to
Right.
practice it. You stepping on my stomach. My stomach hurt for like 3 weeks because he stepped on my
So
stomach." And he was a good
so
coach,
you
though.
didn't
He was
so
a
you
good
didn't
coach, though,
play
from what
no
I
high
heard.
school sports?
Only thing I played was basketball. Well, I played baseball at Wingate for
Right.
2 years. I played 1 year because, cutting class a lot. I ended up going to alternative school, which
Mhm.
is redirection,
Right.
right there by Bristol. I ended up playing there for 1 year with my boy Gordon Malone, who eventually went to West Virginia, and Mike
Okay.
Sullivan. So I played there for one season, and then I left and went to Wingate. I would have played for Wingate. Coach Cavalli, excuse my French, everybody, that bastard. He when I went in there, he he this is exactly I was practicing with the team, working out with the team. You know how you come from baseball practice to go to
Right.
basketball practice. We coming through the gym. He let the basketball players in that was on the baseball team, but he didn't let me in. I said, "Why you not letting me in?" And I was with them. He said, "Because baseball is a faggot sport."
What?
What? I said, "Okay, no problem." They was already getting a behind smashed
Okay.
anyway, so I didn't care. So he would see me in gym. I would murder all his players on the gym. I would kill them, and he hated that. So he thought I was one of those guys that was just a smart addict or, just a kid that, had no
Mhm.
manners or respect. I just didn't
Okay.
like him. That's why turning 50 was so important to me because he said, you'll be dead before you
Wow.
18.
Wow.
That's that. As we continue to tell this story, you're going to see what the motivation was now. He was my
Yeah. No,
motivation
it's always one.
all the way through life. Anything somebody said I couldn't do, I always remember what he said. You'll be dead by you before you're
Wow.
18. But that's another. I
Yes,
proved him
sure
wrong 10
did,
times
man.
over.
And
So
and
you know what I
again,
mean.
I said happy
So that was
birthday
my
to you
motivation.
earlier on the day, but
Yeah.
another happy belated, man. 50 is a milestone.
Oh, it's huge, man. And I had the pleasure to celebrate it with you and the
Yeah.
rest of my Brooklyn family. That meant more to me than
You
anything, man. Like that was
you in what
perfect.
I call the third quarter. You know what I mean? It's the third quarter. The third
Third
quarter.
quarter, okay,
60 and over is the
okay,
fourth quarter. So
okay, okay, okay,
you like the first 3-4 minutes of the third quarter. You know what I'm saying?
okay,
Still got
okay.
10 more.
So I was
You
still
like
today,
early
still
on in
early.
the third quarter. You know what I'm saying? And because this the third quarter is usually when we start planning for the rest of life. You know what I'm saying? We on certain jobs we on. We trying to make money. We trying to get to where we could retire. We getting close to that age 60 and 60. That's when you
Mhm.
start planning. So this is when the motivation starts to start looking forward to life in the future. When there is no more
Right,
job. And, are you getting the pension? Are you getting Social Security? Are you getting this? Are you getting that? I try to tell people, you got to start working on that because a lot of people start working on that when they 58, 59. Yeah, that's late. That's late in the game when you start
right.
working on that. You're 50 now, third quarter. It's time to start, looking to that part of life. But so you must have played a lot of outside basketball then. You wasn't playing. Yeah, you played a
I
lot of
did.
outside
I
basketball.
did.
What's
I did. I played high energy, Dunker's Delight, where every dunk was
mm-hmm.
3 points. I played. I
West
played all
Fourth,
over.
all that
There's,
was
I didn't get a chance to play in
no
West
okay.
Fourth because again, I'm
Right.
playing
Okay.
baseball. So I'm still playing baseball at the time. So whenever I can make a basketball, I made it. I played in Kingston Park. I
Mm-hmm.
played all over Brooklyn. I played in the Rucker.
Okay.
You know, uh, so that I mean, but everybody knew me for
Okay.
baseball. They knew me for as a baseball guy. They never knew me for basketball. But I had to
Right.
earn the respect because I'm playing with a lot of my neighborhood friends. The Charles
Mm.
Jones, the Lamont, the Junies. These are
Mm-hmm.
guys that's legends. The Bam, the Jamal Tinsley, the Reggie
Right.
Ropes. I can go on. There's a whole list of guys that I grew up around. I'm
Right.
playing with these guys. So I had to earn my stripes. I even played against Kenny. Kenny, I killed you too. Just want you to know that I had about 30 something when I played against your team, Kenny. Even
Uh-oh.
though we lost, yeah, all the guys went back, but I did kill your team, Kenny. Shout out to
Shout
Kenny
out to
G.
Kitty,
You know
man.
what I'm saying?
Oh.
Shout out to Kenny.
You put him on
So,
blast like that.
but yeah, I played.
I
That's my
hate.
dog. You know what
I,
I'm saying?
I
That's
hate.
my
I
dog.
hate.
But I did play a lot of
Right.
street ball, a lot of street ball, and that's actually what made it easier for me to go
Oh,
to
okay.
college.
All right. Well, listen. A lot of times you get seen more by playing in tournaments and playing out in other areas than sometime high
Mhm.
school. Because when you out there in tournaments and you there, everybody get a chance to see you. You all summer long, all winter long. People get a chance to see you. But yeah, college.
Yep.
I think what Nassau was the first one.
Yeah,
Was
NASA
the
was the
first?
first one, and that was a journey too. There's a story
Let's hear. It.
behind that.
Let's hear.
Um, Shout out to Vincent Hillard. I was working at Jackie Robinson. So eventually, and I have no shame in telling my full story because this is what, like you said, you want me to tell the full story. I didn't graduate
Okay.
from high school. I had to go get my
Okay.
GED. So a lot of my friends were going off to college to play ball, and I'm the only one sitting back at home. And I'm like, wait a minute, why are these dudes going to college? And I know I can play college ball, but what's this problem? Well, I didn't have no diploma. So Shout out to Vincent Hilliard. I'm working at Jackie Robinson. I'm coaching and working at there. He said, "Hey Al, listen, why don't you train my daughter, who's Chloe Hilliard? She's a comedian right now, and she's a writer. You know, she does a lot of TV shows right now." Um, he said, "If you train my daughter and you coach for me, I will take you to a lot of these tryouts that they're having." And I said, "Okay, fine." First try, first place he took me, he calls me up one Saturday. He said, "What you doing?" I said, "Nothing." He said, "Well, meet me at Riverbank." And I said, "For what?" He said, "Just meet me at Riverbank." I said, "Okay." Go up to Riverbank. Um, they had the 5-star
Mm-hmm.
basketball camp. He knew Henry Garfinkel was the owner.
Right.
He passed away.
Yes.
May he rest in peace. And he said, "Hey, come in here." So I'm watching the camp and I'm just sitting there. So during the intermission, they having like a dunk line or something like that. And I'm just standing there and just watching. He comes up to me, he says, "Hey, why don't you go get in that line?" I said, I don't have no shorts or nothing like that." He said, "Man, just go in there and do your thing. Don't worry about it. I got you. Just go do your thing." I said, "Okay." So I had on sweats. So I caught a couple of dunks. They go, "Oh, who's this dude? Like, where is he in camp?" So then I catch a couple of more. They like, "Oh, you got to be in the camp or something." Like, nobody know who you are. Now, 5 stars are the top camp. So Mr. Garfinkel comes up to me and he said, "Hey, what's your name, son?" And I said, "Alvin Pierce." He said, "Are you in my camp?" I said, "No, sir." And Vincent, my guy, said, "I brought him up here." He said, "Guess what? You in my camp now."
Uh,
Gave me my
uh,
uniform, sneakers, and
uh,
everything. Put me in the camp. I did my thing in the camp. Mind you, I'm a little older, so I can only do so much. So he said, "Hey, I have this other camp. I want you to come through." You remember the
yeah,
wheelchair classes they
yeah,
used to
yeah,
have?
definitely.
They also had a game called Exceptional Seniors. Well, they practice at New York Tech, which is
Mm-hmm.
downtown Brooklyn. He told me to come to this workout, and I said, "Okay, I'll come to the workout." I couldn't play in the wheelchair classic game because I was too old. He would have put me in the game. Couldn't play an exceptional senior game because you had to have a 95 and better. Now, I damn sure didn't have that. He said, "But you can practice with us." So I end up practicing with them. I had a horrible practice. I mean, in my opinion, I did. Coach from Nassau, Coach Kevin Finneran, comes up to me and says, "Would you like to go to college?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Did you see how I played? I played horrible." He was like, "From what I saw is what I need." And I said, "Well, I don't know if this is going to work." He said, "Well, I'm going to come to your house tomorrow." I said, "You going to come to the hood?" You come to the
Hey,
projects? He said, "Yeah, I'm gonna come pick you up." I said, "Yeah, whatever, man." So I gave him my address. I was staying on Gates Avenue. So he pulls up. My grandmother really don't know what's going on at the time. So a lot of the dudes in the hood, they saw the white coach pull up in his little car, and they said, "Yo, man, who's this white dude, man?" I said, "He's a coach from college." They said, "Oh, okay, okay." I said, don't touch his car. Leave his car alone. Like, don't mess with his car." I had to give the disclaimer first. You know what I'm saying? So they said, "No, we got him. We got him." So he comes upstairs. He sits down. He talks to us. Every grandmother, y'all know, they got plastic
right,
on the
that old
couch. That
school,
living
old
room,
school,
we
man.
had
My mom
plastic.
had that,
We
man,
old
plastic.
school. So we sit and we talk. And, he said, "Do you want to play college basketball?" And I said, "I do." I said, "But, I don't have a diploma." He said, "Well, let me worry about that." I said, "Okay." So we go out to Nassau. I worked out with the team. He said, "You'll be coming to this school in the fall, and this is what you'll be doing. You have to pass these 4 classes before you can play." But I didn't know it was like the GED, because if anybody took the GED, it's all in one setting, but I had to take the classes. So I took the class. I didn't know I passed all my classes until December, where they was like, "Hey, Al, come in here, come get your uniform." And I said, "For what?" He said, "Well, you passed all
Uh,
your classes, so you can take the trip. You can take your trip to Florida. What number do you want?" So the first number that I wore, I always said I'm gonna get tattooed on my arm, which was number
Right.
4, which is tattooed on my arm, and that's why I wore 4 all through college. You know, um, so that's how that
Right.
journey started. First game at Nassau in Florida, I had 12 points, 10 rebounds, and fouled out. Second game, 10 points, 9 rebounds, got hurt. And I'm gonna post that picture of me in a wheelchair because my knee,
Mm-hmm.
I got hurt in my knee. Third game, I end up playing because I felt better. Shout out to John Morgenstern and my boy Kyle for wheeling me around in that wheelchair. And John, I'm still gonna whip your ass for pushing me in that damn pool when we was in Florida. But that's that. We're gonna talk about that later. Um, the last game we played against the number 1 JUCO in Florida, which was Hillsborough Community College. I had 35 points
Mm-hmm.
that game. I went off. Come back. First game we played conference wise, Nassau. They said we playing against the top leading scorer in our conference, which was Region 15, and I think it was Queens College. This dude was averaging 30 points a
Yeah,
game.
I see. I read that. We had a couple of games against them. You know, had some tough games against Queens College.
Yeah, we was rough, but he had 3 points against me, and I
Mm.
had 30. So street ball made it easier for me to
Right.
play college. And that's how I got to Nassau, and that was my pathway to Nassau. Shout out to Vincent. Shout out to Coach Finn, Coach Klein. So that was my pathway
So
to
you
Nassau.
you stayed there for 2 years. 2 years or one.
I stayed, I stayed there for 2 years, and then went to Division II. I actually played baseball one
Okay.
season there at Nassau, but I didn't like the coach because he was racist,
Okay.
so I quit. And then that's when I was still playing outside
Mm-hmm.
baseball leagues. I was able to work out for the Brooklyn Cyclones. I was
Okay.
able to, I worked out for the Cyclones. I actually had a workout for the Yankees. I had offers from the Dodgers. Um, I stayed on it. I stayed on it. I kept playing. Um, the worst mistake I made, my coach Anthony is still mad at me behind this. Still to this day. He remember when the Florida Marlins was an
Mm-hmm.
expansion team. They had an open tryout in Florida. My Anthony booked me a ticket to go to Florida to go work out for the Florida Marlins. He didn't go with me. He just booked it and said, "Hey, this is what you do. Take care of it." I never got on that
Mm.
plane. I was 18 years old. I never got on that
Mm.
plane. I never went to work out, and he still cursed me out to this day when I
Listen, you
talk
don't
to him.
blame him.
So he said, he said, so yeah,
And it ain't
so
about and it ain't
so
about the
that was
flight. It's about the opportunity.
yeah, it was an
Yeah.
opportunity, and that was one of the things that I do regret. But moving forward, you see all the
Oh
blessings that
yes.
happen,
Oh
in front of that. So maybe that wasn't what I was
yeah.
supposed to do. So, but that was that whole Nassau journey moving forward. Then I ended up going to
There you go.
Southampton,
Yeah, that's
which
right.
played 2 years there. Um, People don't know I had to work out for the Dallas Mavs. Shout out to Salam who took me to that workout in Dallas. Shout out to Vinny for getting me those buddy passes. You know, people don't realize it was rough in college. So but I did that. That was it. That was my
Yeah.
basketball journey.
Uh,
That was it. But
that's a
it's more
great,
to
but that
that.
no,
But
but
that was it.
that's a great journey. That's a great
Yeah.
journey, man. It's a successful journey. You know, it's a journey that
Mhm.
will prepare you for what's next. You know,
Yes, because
yes,
it did. Because
it
it did.
will prepare you for life too. You,
Yeah.
you got to travel, you got to go places, you got to see things, you got to experience things. There's no other thing, there's no other journey like that, man. That's a very successful journey we talking about, man.
Mhm. I think you have a
Right, I got a
Nassau
Nassau
Southampton
shirt,
jersey still,
got a Nassau shirt,
right?
and you know what? You know where I want to go next. You know what I'm saying? I want to
What's
go
up?
next to the Alvin anti-gravity Pierce Wizards. Yeah, I
That
want to hear a
story is
little bit
good.
about anti-gravity, man. Okay.
So the Harlem Wizards, shout out to my guy Noel and Jay. Noel, it was Springfest weekend, and you know how the school do a lot, and the Harlem Wizards happen to come up there. So they're walking around our cafeteria during dinner time. We got a game later that night. They promoting the game. May he rest in peace, Rudy Johnson. Because if it wasn't for Rudy, I wouldn't have played. Um, and Rudy's from Brooklyn, so he's egging me on the whole time, like he's talking trash, and I'm thinking like this, the Globetrotters. I said, man, if y'all hit me in the head with one of them balls, I'm gonna slap fire out one of you dudes, man. You know, this is when I'm so serious about it. So I'm not playing with it. So he said, man, just come out to the game and just have some fun. So I said, okay, cool, no problem. So we go out to the game. I eventually play in the game. Shout out to my boy Speedy, who birthday is today, Speedy Williams. Speedy says, he said, yo, can you dunk? And I said, yeah. He said, all right, well, I'm gonna go on a fast break. I want you to dunk on me. Well, no, it didn't start with Speedy. A shout out to my boy Tommy Starks. He swoops. He was the first person I dunked. He wasn't expecting that. So I got on a fast break. I dunked it on him. And then the second time, Speedy said, yo, you got to dunk on me now. The crowd going crazy. So I dunked it on him, which was planned. After the game, Rudy said, hey, man, give me a call. I want to bring you out for some games. And I said, yeah, whatever. So I'm in the dorm, hanging out with my guys. I said, man, that dude gave me his phone number, man. Told me to call him. They said, call him. I said, man, that dude is just playing around. Shout out to my boy Kurt. He said, yo, call him. I said, dude, I'm not calling that dude. That dude just playing around. My boy Kurt said, man, if you don't call him, I'm calling him. I said, all right. So, we ain't had no phone. We had a pay phone. So I went to the pay phone, called him. Rudy said, oh, I remember you. He said, what you doing tonight? I said, nothing. He said, well, we got a game in Long Island. Come to the game. I said, what? He said, come to the game. I said, okay. So I told the guys on my team, my boy Jay, he had the only car at that time. So we all jumped in his hoopty, drove to the game in Long Island. They gave me a uniform. And they said, you playing. Shout out to Carl. May he rest in peace. Carl said, well, they said you're supposed to get paid, $90 for this game. I said, what? $90? Now, mind you, I'm in college. $90? I can feed all of us with that
Right.
$90. That's how I think it. So I play in the game, don't know what to do whatsoever. They said, yo, when you get on the break, just dunk. That's all you do. It's okay. So every time I got on a fast break, dunk, dunk, dunk the ball, dunk the ball, dunk the ball. When the game was over, he said, man, I ain't giving you $90. I'm going to give you $100
Wow.
instead. I said, okay, no problem. He said, we got another game. You want to come to that one? I said, I sure do. Came to the next game, got another $100. So after that, they had something called rookie camp, which you get to play in the summer. You just do all summer camps, the whole summer. So I did all the summer camps. The first name they actually gave me, Carl gave me the name Up
Mm.
Tempo. And he said, nah, I don't like that name. After a certain amount of games, he didn't like it. And then he gave me the name Anti Gravity, which was somebody else's name. My boy Keith Brooks, who passed away as well. Shout out to Keith. Um, gave me the name Anti Gravity. So when I got the name Anti Gravity, that's how it stuck with me to be Anti Gravity. I couldn't get my number 4 because Speedy had it, so I had to wear number 3 when I was
Yeah.
with the Wizards. So after I did so well in that summer, the owner, Todd Davis, said, hey, we taking this international tour. We're going to China, and I want you to go.
Mm.
I said, okay. So Carl took me to go get my passport, and I was off to China, and that's where it all
Wow.
started. So that's how anti-gravity
Yeah,
came into
man. Yeah,
fruition.
man. I read up on that, man. I read up on that. know what I mean? You played with them for what, 5 years?
5 years with the Wizards. Also played with the Court Jesters, Hall of Magic Masters, and then I played with my boy Team Headache.
Okay.
You know, I had a stint. Played a couple of games on the N1 tour. I did that for a while. Mook, what's up, baby? I had the opportunity to play with an N1 tour. I did a couple of games there. So it was fun. I mean, I was blessed to play basketball.
Yeah,
Basketball got me the education. Got me wherever I
yeah.
needed to go.
And you made some money. It's like a job, man. You
And
was
I
getting
made a
paid.
couple. And I made a couple of dollars. And what people don't know, uh, I was from 2002 2003 the Harlem Wizards logo. I was the
Wow.
Ghost Man. The original logo that they have, I was the Harlem Wizards
Wow.
logo. And I wish I'd have knew business then. I wouldn't have took that $10,000 check. I would have got a percentage. I'd have still been making a
But
couple of
I hear
dollars right
that, man. I
now.
hear that. Because that logo is still on the uniform?
I think they use it every once in a while, but I think they change it too. I think they change it. But I was the
Yeah.
original. So I think they have somebody else doing it now, but I was the original Ghost Man, the Ghost Man logo. I was the original Ghost Man logo. And people don't know that logo was during a photo shoot, me jumping over Speedy. Because me and Speedy had a dunk where he would bounce it and I would jump over him. And I actually did that dunk in China. And when I jumped over him, that became the
Mm.
poster and that became the logo. So that was the original Ghost Man. I was the original Harlem
So
Wizards
do you
logo.
still have any of that stuff, man? Any of them pictures? Any of that?
I went. It's funny because I go home and my aunt still has the original picture of it. I still have some
Yeah.
pictures.
I still got
My
one.
guy,
You gave me the poster.
my guys come into town. They give me jerseys and
Okay.
stuff like that, but it's not the same. I think I still have a jersey in here, but um, it's
Right.
not the same. It's from the original stuff. I mean, I got hats. I got Harlem Wizard hats. They
Yeah.
take good care of me. My guys that
That's
come
great
in town.
organization, man.
Yeah, great organization. They take good care of me, so I got no bad words about them. You know what I'm saying? Mook, what's up, man? Mook, a legend too in the park. My man Mook, leather legend.
It, listening to you talk, it lets you know how much you've been blessed and how grateful you are because I've heard you throughout this process talk about a lot of guys rest in peace.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of those guys were not old guys. You understand what I'm
No.
saying? So it makes you have a profound gratitude, man. Be here, still be around, still be healthy, still playing sports, still being active, man. So, journey is great for you. What after the Wizards? What after?
After the Wizards, I got married. 2005. I moved from New York to
Mm,
Texas. Um, I was married for 10 years. I have two beautiful, like I said, beautiful, but handsome sons, Trey and Jaden. Trey just turned 16. Jaden is 14. Both my boys are one of my boys is in volleyball and track. Trey's in football, basketball. He tried baseball. He didn't like it. Both of them tried it, and kind of hurt my feelings, but that's fine. Um, but I'm proud of both of my boys. I have a daughter, Anaya. She's in New York, 23
yeah,
years old, my princess. So I'm blessed all the way
big time.
around. Once I got married, it slowed down. But we 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 can go back into a whole nother
Right,
section because we didn't even do the
right. We no,
softball
we
yet.
get
You see
ready.
what I'm
That's the
saying?
section we get ready to go
Yeah.
into.
So
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So that was a whole nother journey while doing basketball,
right,
baseball. You
right.
know what I'm saying? And but yeah, that's what happened after the Wizards. I felt not meeting somebody at that time, but my knees were starting to
Okay.
bother me. and I didn't. I had a friend of mine. Shout out to Tone. He had a lot of knee
Mm-hmm.
surgeries, and I didn't want to have. I felt like something was going to happen. So instead of it happening, I
Right.
just
Yeah.
stopped. I just said, you know what? I'm not going to keep jumping forever because when you play with the Wizards, we could play sometimes 60 to 70 games, maybe more than that a season, starting from September that ends
Mm-hmm.
in May. And there's a week we might play 5 or 6 games during the
Mm.
week from Monday to Friday, Monday to Sunday. And some Sundays we might play 2 games. You know, I know in the calendar of March, we play at least 1 or 2 games every day. So that's wear and tear
Sure
on your
enough,
body.
man.
You know,
Up and down, jumping. When people understand, when you go up,
yeah,
come down.
even though it's show ball,
There ain't no way to come down. There ain't no
my
way to come
wrist,
down soft.
ain't no way. And I'm a
Right.
little guy, so
You up
it,
there.
it, it hurt
You up there.
more. It hurt
Sure.
more for me. Um, there's some things that I've done dunking wise that I can't
Yeah.
believe that I've done. I wish there was
I saw
YouTube
you.
back then.
Listen. I saw you in Kingston Park when you won that dunk contest. That was
That
some
that
crazy.
that that's another story.
Crazy stuff you did that day, bro.
That we were just talking about that when I was up there. Shout
Crazy
out to
stuff you did
Prime and
that day,
everybody.
bro.
People don't realize I'm
That's
playing
right. You was
softball
playing. That's
all-star
right.
game.
That's right.
And I wanted to get in that game. And when I got into that dunk contest, I was going
Right.
back and
They don't,
forth.
yeah, people don't realize that, man. You know.
Yeah. Shout out to Dougie and everybody. Shout out to Salon who put me in the car because they was trying to rob me for my $1,000 check.
Yeah. So softball. When did that
Yes.
competitive fire start with the softball?
I used to play with this team before I even got into Kingston or St. John's called the
Mm-hmm.
Bombers. And they were based out of, I want to make sure I get it right. Sutter and Rutland,
That's
is that
Brownsville.
considered
That's
East New York?
Brown.
Brownsville? Okay. That team was based over there on that side. And it was just happened after baseball. I just saw them playing on the concrete, and I just went over there and I started playing over there. Well, eventually, one day, I told this story. That's why I love Mr. T. I happened to walk through Lincoln Terrace Park. I saw him working out with the girls and the guys. I'm sorry, women and the guys. And I just said, hey, can I get into this workout? And he said, yeah, sure. Come on in. He said, what position you play? Now, I knew I played center field, but I didn't feel like running no more. I'm tired of running. So I said, I play shortstop. So he's hitting me the ball at shortstop, and I'm zooming the ball to the handball court all over there. He said, dude, you're not a shortstop throwing the ball like that. I said, I do play center field. He said, well, go to center field then. So I go to center field. He hit me the ball. First ball he hit me, I threw the ball over Cal. Shout out to Cal. Over into the trees. Mr. T stands on third base and said, when we going to slow that arm down, I want you to take that one throw right here, one bounce. I'm going to stand right here. I want you to throw it right here on the dime. Mr. T will tell you this story to the day. He said, you stand right here. You ain't going to hit me. Don't worry about it. I want you to throw it right here. I threw the ball right where he told me to throw the ball. He said, you got it, son. And ever since that day, he took me in under his arms. That's why I had to give him his acknowledgement for doing what he
Right.
did for me,
Yeah.
for giving me an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Well, a lot of people wouldn't, and I'll
Well, he's
always
one of the
give him
legends
that
of the
respect.
community.
Yeah, definitely. And he kept me. The Bucks was around at that time. I was around Kingston and St. John's, but he never let me play because he wanted me to play hardball. He never wanted me to play softball. So he kept me away from it. So what he did was he let me play fast pitch. He took me to Euclid,
Right.
New
Right.
Jersey. He took me to all the fast pitch leagues. He didn't take me no slow pitch at all. So I got into Kingston Shout out to my cousin Jamal and Sean, because Sean cut my hair since I was 17, 18 years old. They was putting the team together in the barbershop with Fatty. Didn't know who Fatty was. And I said, well, I'll play. I'm getting my haircut. I'll play. And they was like, well, come out. Went out for the workout, and we put the team together. Well, they put the team together called the Legends. So that's how I got in Kingston Park.
Was you playing in any other leagues before that? No. So
No.
You went straight from playing with Mr. T to Kingston.
Yeah, it was fast pitch all over the place, and then jumped dead into Kingston.
So Kingston is actually
Kingston
your
was the
first softball league out, like in Brooklyn.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, besides playing in PAL, that don't really count. But we played in Prospect Park with the PAL stuff. But that was competitive. Not taking nothing away from it. But what I saw in Kingston.
Who was your first team in Kingston? Legends.
The Legends. Okay. Jamal, Sean. I will never forget. My only regret is never winning with my brothers that what I came into the league with. Because they're my brothers. You know what I'm saying? I take nothing away from them. Water was the second baseman. Derek Oliver was playing. Big D, shout out to Big D, who I played basketball with. People don't know Big D was a good basketball player. You know what I'm saying? Playing with Dav too. Shout out to Brooklyn, USA. Munch put me on that team. I told you I got a lot of history.
No.
But it was such a good team because half of our Legends team was the Clippers.
Okay.
So, and I didn't play in St. John's.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like I didn't play. I think the first team I played with was the Eagles. And that was the beat up team. Everybody beat up on the Eagles. But the Legends was the first team. I remember, and Chris hate when I tell this story, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. I saw Mo Better playing. I said, I want to come play for Mo Better. Chris told me, you ain't ready yet. I said, I'll be back. That was my motivation. I'll be back. And I worked my butt off, with the Legends, hit, fielding. Mr. T still working with me, still talking to me. It's emotional because Heavy, took notice of me. T.O. took notice of me. Dagger, those guys really said, look, we can do more. You know what I mean? Like outside of here. But it all started that process of trying to do more. And, I stayed with the Legends another year, 2 years with the Horsemen. I did a year with the Cubs. After the Cubs, I went to Showtime. Then, of course, I crossed over to Mo Better. Winning those championships, and then another level. But like I said, it's a process to all of that. So, and then the tournaments. But you tell me where you want me to go, and I'm gonna follow
you just listen. You telling it. I mean, like I said, you didn't just play there. You played all over. You played Queens. You played. I think that's what happens sometimes with people when, like, a lot of times we doing these interviews. People like to focus on one park, and they don't they don't realize you played tournament softball. You know what I mean? That you went here, you went there, you played in Queens. You played a lot of places. You played in some leagues, but that's your story is one of, like you said, you had to work at it. You know what I mean? I know you told me the story about how you didn't like our pitch.
I listen. I hate it, and if it wasn't for Tony and Heavy, and Tony will tell you this, rest in peace, Mr. Cherry.
Yeah.
Tony will tell you this. He wanted to keep me out of the nonsense in Kingston. Tony saw something in me that a lot of people probably didn't see.
Right,
You
I
saw
saw
it
it early. I
early
saw it
because
early.
you saw it early because that's why we close to this day, because you was the first person I smoked a
Right.
cigar with. I still hate the fact that I don't know how to play
Right. Yeah,
chess.
right. We were supposed to do that. We were supposed to do that. We were supposed to
Remember
do that.
that?
And we got
Remember that?
time. We'll get to that too.
We got time, right? But the fact remains that you took notice in the young me and you kept me under your arms, and that's the same thing Tony did. Tony turned me to Dagger, which Dagger had me playing everywhere in Queens. Heavy had me everywhere, which made Kingston easy.
Right.
I had no choice but to learn how to play art because that's
Right.
what they played. Straight in was only played in Kingston.
Right. Yeah, that's,
People don't realize that. Once you left Kingston, it was art.
Right. I mean, well, they had those leagues. They had
And,
those leagues in Queens too, the BBDs and all that, or Victory.
But it wasn't like us going to
It wasn't the
College
competitive.
Point.
It wasn't the competition. Wasn't like It was
not like that.
Totally different. Totally
and
different.
I was the youngest.
Right.
I'm 50, and Jake, I'm still little.
Right. Yeah.
That's gonna ever go with me for the rest of my life. I'm gonna always be the baby because I learned so much from being around
took you out there. We won the tournament in Glen Cove. Out there with us.
Oh my God!
He was out there.
Will you hit that rocket?
They still looking for that. They never find it. They never looking for that. Never got that ball back. Never got that ball back. Never got that ball back. You know what I'm saying? So
they don't realize we go to Vegas. Me and you share a room together.
Me, you, Doug, Benny,
and Seven.
Was about 7 or 8 of us in one room, man. Okay, like people don't realize. Like that's why I say sometimes when people you be talking to me about this guy and that guy, I said, listen, bro, I have no problem with these guys, man. I said, I actually slept in a hotel with these guys for the weekend. Tap, we had a whole crew with us, man, in this room. You know what I'm saying? But we had a ball. We had a ball. We had a ball. We had a ball.
Listen, I will never forget, because remember, we had to go back for the Glen Clove tournament because it stormed. Dagger said, Al, get your behind on the Long Island Railroad from college, because I was in school, played in the game, got back on the train and went back to school.
See, people don't understand. You was doing this when you was in college, man.
I was doing all this in college. Shout out to Mike Marsh.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Driving me back and forth to Nassau because I wanted to stay on Sunday to play Sunday. And he knew I had class in the morning. Get up early, drove me to school so I can make class. So people don't realize I did this. I loved it and respected it so much that I was leaving college and coming to play. I was doing both.
Your Mo Better experience, man.
That was different. I learned how to be a winner playing with Mo Better. I'm able to go anywhere now and teach other people how to win.
That's a profound statement, man.
Because of what we went through. And when I say we, you was there way before me, but the time that I was there, those practices, those conversations, those analytics before the game. He was doing analytics before analytics.
That's right.
And the way he assessed the game, it made it easy. So I can go to any other team and tell you how to do this because I've done it already.
Right.
It's a simple game when you look at it.
And the thing about it is that you'll be humble learning like that. Because we had a lot of players.
Oh my God.
We had a lot of players, man. We had
team. Not a lot of players. You had a lot of great players.
Right. You know,
Let's
right.
let's put that in
Yeah,
perspective.
two
You know what I'm
lineups.
saying? Like you had to
Yeah,
crack the
two
lineup.
lineups, man. Easy. The fortunate thing what kept everything smooth, we had a lot of guys playing in other places, you know, but we had no egos. That's the one thing I love about that team, from the first one to the second one.
I couldn't believe
No
that.
egos. No
I couldn't
egos,
believe
man.
that though, Jay.
You
I
ain't hear
couldn't
nobody
believe
on the
that.
bench. You ain't hear no talking. You ain't hear no hating, like
Complaining.
no hating that this guy's
No,
playing and I ain't
no,
playing. You ain't hear none of that.
no.
It was all about winning. That's all it was about. Yeah, one voice talking most of the time, and that was that. It wasn't. I don't care what league you came from. I don't care who you was playing with in Queens and Bronx. And when you showed up to that team, it was only one goal, man, win. That's it. That's it.
It was one time Chris had me batting fourth. I remember him having Derek Oliver first. You was batting third. Lenny Benjamin was batting before, and he had me fourth. And I said, "Yo, what are you doing? There's no way I should be batting fourth. Did you see who you just put in front of me?"
Man, he would do stuff like that.
But he said, "How many times you gonna bat fourth in this lineup?"
True.
And I thought about it. Maybe once.
Depending on how much we was hitting. Maybe twice.
I mean,
Maybe
depending on who
twice.
we. If we play in the Desperados, I batted eight times.
Right. Well, you know what though? We usually only win 5 innings. So you
Oh
understand
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah,
we
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
getting but 2 or 3 at bats at best. You know what I'm saying? Depending on
yeah.
how, because that was always my motto. We play 10 innings. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you know what? I forgot a team, and I'm sorry. I had the opportunity of playing with the
Okay,
Black
yes.
Sox.
Yes, you did.
Shout out
Yes,
to
you did.
Delroy,
Yes, you did.
Derek
Yes.
Matamora. Shout out to my boy
Right.
Bruce, G.I.
Right.
Joe. Shout out to Tap Senior. I can't forget those brothers over there.
Reg.
Reg,
Yeah.
Doug, can't forget
Yeah.
those brothers, man. I mean, I still think we won the championship, even though they called it. Um, I remember my daughter was born in 2002 because that's when the championship was. I had the christening on Sunday, and they said, "Al, you got to come to the game instead of the christening." Man, you must be crazy. You're gonna get me stabbed up in this place. You must be crazy. Speedy said, "Don't worry, you can come." I said, "Speedy, I ain't coming to that game. I see y'all next week." But the Mo Better experience was amazing, and I can tell you experience about every team that
Well,
I
of
played for.
course.
You know,
Of course.
but the Mo Better experience was I learned how to win. I learned how to be a
That's what we
champion.
play for.
I learned how to be a leader. I learned how
Yeah,
to be a
that
leader.
true. That too. That too.
You know, shout out to my big brother Al Watson.
Right.
You know, we talk to this day, and I still pick his
Oh, we
brain
had
about
we had
everything.
a,
You
we had
know,
a lot
to
of
this day,
vets, man. We had a lot of we had. I mean,
we
we had
have
some vets,
vets,
but we had a lot of young vets because, like, me and
young.
Speedy was probably the oldest guys on the team. You know what I'm saying? So, but we had a lot of
Shout out
veteran
to
guys that
Speedy.
played that have played a long time and played everywhere.
Shout out to Speedy. And Speedy, don't take this personal. I hate you. And I'm gonna tell you why I hate you, Speedy. I think I popped up to you 2 times this past A60 reunion. Normally you pitch for me, so I
Uh,
still hate you to this day. I hate you even when I had to face you before. And here's the funny thing, Jake. Speedy was the first person to take me to his house on Monroe and show me all the pitches and batters that he hit and the pitches that he threw.
yeah.
He had a black book. I knew pitches that Speedy would throw me.
And you know what's great about Jerome is that he learned that later on. You know,
And I
learned
didn't
that
know
later
that.
on. You know, like sometimes me and Coach would be talking, be in the back smoking, and he give me that, some of that stuff that you do about my greatest, more better team. And I'm like, yeah, I ain't with that. But I said, I will tell you who I love as one of our greatest players, and that's Jerome,
Mm.
because he did it for 6 years of dominance with the first team, and then he came back and pitched for about 6 years with the second team. So he won championships doing it both ways, and he was dominant both ways.
You know, Jake, before I go into Jerome, let me give you your flowers, bro. You don't. I know
Yeah,
you don't like it,
Al,
but I'm gonna give it to you anyway.
Al,
I'm gonna tell you why. I have a lot of big brothers. Al, Chuck.
that's my boy, Chuck. My boy,
That's my dude.
Chuck,
Al,
man.
my dude. All day, every day. JB. JB gave me the name franchise. Shout out to JB. Peterkin, my dude. El Presidente. You actually treated me like a little
Yeah,
brother. Like I remember being in college and you were like, let me talk to you for a minute. Come here. Don't get caught up in this nonsense that's going on over here, man. Take you behind
right,
the couch, keep your head in them
right.
books. This will be here when
So
you get
will,
back.
man.
If you need anything, you call me. Get your behind out there. And everybody don't get the opportunity to do that. That's why I have so much respect for you because my introduction to playing against Mo Better, you was catcher, and you said this dude can't hit. This kid can't hit. I looked at you. I said, "Yo, you don't even know me." You said, "You don't need to know me. Just know you can't hit." And I remember not hitting. I remember not hitting. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not
Hey,
gonna lie. And you said, "You're gonna be all right in this game, kid. Take your time and be
that's right.
patient." And to this day, you can see where our
Oh, no,
relationship
come
is.
on,
It's
man.
always
This
been
this
the
this
same.
this
You
ain't
know
this
what
ain't
I'm
about
saying? But
this ain't about
I just
ain't
want to
about
let you know
sports,
I
man.
really respect and love you, man.
Yeah,
Really respect and
same
love
here,
you for
man.
everything
Same
you've
here,
done for me.
same here, man. Same here. It's a beautiful thing when somebody can tell you that. It's like
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing, man. But
Hmm.
let's talk a little bit about that other team you played with, man. The, the,
Which one?
the AL team, man.
That was probably the fastest team
A
I
lot of
played
speed
on.
on that team, man. A lot of speed,
A
a lot of
lot of
talent, a lot
talent.
of speed, a lot of speed though.
Shout out to Vinny, Water,
Mm-hmm. Wayne,
Wayne for
yeah,
putting that
Wayne
together.
don't get mentioned a lot, man.
No,
Wayne
he
don't get
don't. But
He
Wayne,
don't get mentioned a
look,
lot for what he did with that team.
Wayne was a part of that. Wayne was a
Water
part of
neither,
that.
but believe me, but
Water
they know
don't.
what they've done. You know, he know what
Yeah.
they've done.
Water was there
Yeah,
too. Water
yes,
was there too.
yeah,
Shout out to Water. Water, I'm still waiting for that fish sandwich,
yeah.
but that's all
Yeah,
right. I'll get it next
I
time I
had to make
come
sure I
home.
got me one. You know what I mean? Oh yeah,
Okay,
no
okay,
question,
okay. I'll
no
get one when
question.
I
I
get
make
back.
sure I got me one.
But that AL team, that was a special
Mm.
team too. But like I tell everybody, all of us came from a winning
Right. Well, a lot
program.
of y'all came. A lot of y'all
Yeah.
came.
We came from Mo Better. When you talk about seven, Chris Howard.
Yep.
When you're talking about
Chuck,
me, Chuck played over there,
Hitman.
Hitman,
That's
Nesto.
the.
You
I can
know,
name a bunch. I can name a bunch of
um,
guys, man, that played on that team. That's why I always tell
we,
you, I never
we,
felt
we, we,
bad losing. It was like losing to little
yeah,
brothers. Eric,
yeah.
Eric.
So Eric, yeah, I didn't win with Eric. Here's the funny thing: people don't realize this. 2004 AL lost to no 2003 AL lost
No
to
better.
Mo Better. 2004, I went to AL. We beat Mo Better. Me and Eric switched teams. Center field for center field.
Oh, so Eric wasn't on that
People
championship
don't
team.
realize. Not when we
Right.
first beat
Okay,
y'all.
he wasn't on that
No.
team.
No. We switched. He was on Mo Better and I was on
Okay.
AL. Yeah.
So
We
he
switched
was on the
teams.
team that beat y'all. He was with us when we beat y'all. Right.
Yes.
He was with us when we beat.
No.
No, he was with the AL when they lost.
I was on the
That
team
beat
that
AL.
beat AL. So I won back to
Right.
back. I just switched
Okay.
teams. Yeah, I just switched teams.
But that's why, I always tell people this little thing that people try to get going, like, oh, it's AL. And I try to tell people, those 7 or 8 of those guys I played with on my Mo Better team. We won championships with those guys.
Yeah.
That was for most of those guys. That was their first championship. Was Mo Better. The first championship they won in that part.
It was
you know what I'm saying?
mine.
No, and most of them is the first. Tap. He was on Mo Better.
Yeah.
Chuck.
It was mine.
Chris,
it was
Howard.
mine.
Hitman. I ain't go on. Like I said, them guys, their first championships was Mo Better. That's why I don't see where the stuff comes from. Like, for what? You know what I'm saying?
It was mine. I tasted with Showtime and lost to
Right.
Brooklyn. We lost in 6 games. And I remember Seven coming to me in the dugout and saying, "Now you know what it tastes like. Now you got to get back." And then the very next year, I went to Mo
teams
Better.
that we never really had a problem with. We love to play Showtime because they love to bet money. You know what I mean?
And we won, and we won that very next year. And then, like I told you, the ring. I told you to check the ring. I think what it said, 39-2.
I think it said that. I didn't look at it, but I think it is something like that. That's what I'm saying.
That was that.
And
yeah.
I'm still trying to remember who the two that.
And we got that ring the second year. We didn't do it the first year
because who we lost to. Because as I tell people, I don't remember too many.
We lost to. I think we lost to the Desperados.
We lost one time
to
the Desperados, right? Yeah. Homeboy went off behind that. I had to remind him about that a couple of days ago. I said, "Yo,
Darren, check your ring." Me and Darren was trying to do that when I was up there, but he thought he had it in the house. He didn't have the house. He didn't have it. So I told him to check his ring. I couldn't remember. It was either 37 or 39. But last time we did your interview, I think you checked it.
Yeah, it was something like 39-2, man. You know what I mean? Like I said, I tell people I don't remember losing too much with this team, man. I don't. No, we won a lot.
Because
we won a lot.
You did. You did.
What about your St. John's experience, man?
Oh my God! St. John's was different because the atmosphere. Well, let's talk before we go to St. John. Atmosphere in Kingston was like playing at Yankee Stadium.
That's a whole other level.
Championship games was different. Darren, you gotta check the ring, D.
So D, I said, "What's up, man?"
Queen. He hear you. He hear you. He hear you. He tells a story about you too.
Yeah, listen, man. Good. That's good people right there, man. Good people.
Nah, that's my brother from my mother right there. My boy D, man, opened the house for me. I'm sorry I ain't get in the pool. My bad. But tell Amanda I love her. Tell the kids I love them. I'll be back. Don't worry about that. But
I told you you live out there by some. I told him he live out there by some friends of me and my wife.
Yeah, he live. Yeah, listen, man, he live in a great neighborhood, man. I don't hear
no
animals.
No, only thing you might see out there is some deers. That's it.
I did see that. I did see that. He did.
I did see some deers, man. That's what you will see out there, man. But it's very nice, very quiet, very nice neighborhood, man. Very nice. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. St. John's was a different ball game. And I say that because the pitch was so complicated. I didn't know about 6 to 10. If I would have never played with Dagger, Tony, and Heavy, I don't think I've ever been able to hit that pitch. I had the speed to beat out grounders.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Of course. But I don't think that was enough for me. I wanted to be effective. I wanted to be a threat. That's why I think I never pulled the ball. I always went the right center because I had a
Right.
late swing. I ran
But what
up
we
on the
taught you
ball.
how to do is catch the ball up here. Catching it down
You always
here,
told me catch
that's
it up
why you're hitting a
high.
lot of grounders. You try to catch it up
Yeah.
here.
Well, remember we played in that Border Ed League was when I really got my lessons.
Right.
Shout out to Ernie
Right,
and Mike
Ernie.
and them.
We had a
Me
nice
out
crew
there.
out there too.
Yep,
We had a monster out there, man. We had a
right.
Red,
That's right.
Heavy,
That's right.
Magic.
Heavy. That Border Ed
Yeah, we
team
had a
was
monster
crazy.
team out
Yeah.
there, man. And we went out to Newburgh.
Newburgh.
That's right. And won out there.
That's right. But St. John's was complicated because it was a pitch that I wasn't comfortable with. It was a pitch that I didn't like, but I knew I was effective on defense. But I guess it got to a point for me that where I got tired of batting 10th and 11th. Like, yo, hold up, man. Al, you last. What? Man, I felt like that was a shot. You know what I mean? Like I can't hit. So I had to learn that pitch. And like you said, catch it up here, go here, learn how to drive it this way, drive it that way. And eventually I picked it up. Shout out to the Eagles. That was the first team I played with. Smiley brought me over there. May he rest in peace. Smiley had an opportunity to play with. Had an opportunity to play with Regulators. Shout out to Nitty, Easy, Gotti, my boys over there. Poppy. I think I played with USA. To play with USA for no, I don't think I played with
you
USA.
didn't play with us. No,
I didn't play with USA. I played with Misfits.
You played with us
Wayne,
in tournaments,
Misfits.
softball, but you was always
yes.
playing with somebody else.
Yeah, I played with Misfits. That was Wayne's team, and I also played with, of course, the last team that won a championship in there, Genesis.
That's the
we
team
beat
that killed
USA.
the league.
Yeah, you said killed the league, but we killed
Well,
USA.
y'all didn't kill us. Y'all beat us 4-2. Y'all didn't kill us.
We did.
4-2.
We did.
And you cheated. And
Y'all was
they
up
cheated
3-1.
the last game that they won because the game's supposed to start at 9 o'clock, and Eric and them showed up at 10:25. You understand what I'm saying? So by that time it was cold. Me and my wife was on our way out the park. And Derek coming to get me saying, "Nah, man, come on, Jake, we getting ready to play." I said, "Man, the game's supposed to be 9 o'clock. It's 10:25 now. Man, I'm getting in my car. I'm out, man. I'm cold. I don't want to play no more. The game's supposed to be on time. Blah blah blah. Make it for next week. Come back next Sunday." But we played, and y'all won. It's all good. But
shout out to Fatty for putting out that poster.
You know what I mean? So it's all good.
Welcome to the USA party, special guest
Rest in peace,
Genesis.
Bulldog. He went over there with y'all.
Rest in peace, Bulldog. Rest in peace, DJ.
Followed us around for 3 years. You know what I mean? We went over there. Because he was a USA fan. He followed us around for 3 years. So rest in peace to Bulldog. But hey,
rest in peace to DJ. Rest in peace to my man.
It's a whole bunch of man.
Rest in peace to Pookie. We got half our team out of there.
Listen, man, listen, but that was good. That was, like, again, I always tell you, although I did like Kingston, I enjoyed playing in St. John's more. I just enjoyed it more, man. I enjoyed it more. I enjoyed the home run, man. I enjoyed trotting around the bases. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we was playing with Excalibur in the USA. We used to count the trees, bro. Like what tree did you just hit? Fourth tree or third tree or the fifth tree? We used to count trees, man.
I got an Excalibur story. Shout out to Tony Cherry. So I was supposed to come play with Excalibur the year that he didn't bring the team back.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be the center fielder to come play over there. And I said, Tony, you not bringing the team back? He said, Al, I can't keep all these guys together, man. They doing their own thing. But that's why he did. After that, y'all won 3 straight championships. If I'm not mistaken.
We won 3 in a row with USA. So.
Yeah. So that was the Excalibur team I did not get a chance to play with that I wanted to play with so bad. And that would have
Oh
hit my mark.
yes, yes.
Play
Because
with
that
who better?
Excalibur team was the
Yeah,
team
Excalibur.
that Tony took. Like he took us out to the tournaments, and I fell in love
Yeah.
with that because it was competition everywhere we went. Like it was, you never went to a tournament and there was no comp. And you know,
Yeah.
you had to come right. You had to come ready to hit, or you might go home Saturday afternoon. You know what I'm saying? You get the Friday games
Yeah.
in, and then if you know you didn't want to come in the Saturday with a loss because now you're in the loser bracket. You know
No.
what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but he took us everywhere, man. You know, I listen. Listen. He was the guy that got me. Well, he wasn't really the guy that got me in the arc pitch. Really, actually, it was Magic and Butch that got me really back into the arc pitch. Then I was playing with them at Kiss FM.
Okay.
And Tony saw something because he used to play with us on that team. And I guess he saw something in me. He said, you know what? I'm getting ready to start a team. Excalibur, like you said, he told you. I said, well, I play. I said, but you know, I ain't really, you know, I used to hit some shots every now and then, but you know, I wasn't into it like that. He said, listen, with some work, man, you know, we can get you right, man. And I will say, man, I put in a lot of time. You know, he used to call them practices on Saturday and Wednesday and then swing outs, man. And yo, man, I used to be there for, you know, I'm the first one there, man. You know, like
People didn't realize that you actually had practices
yes,
back then.
yes,
Like you had
yes. We used to have swing outs
Saturday,
on
one team was on one diamond, another team
right.
was on
Yeah,
another
swing outs,
diamond.
man. You know, we did that.
Yeah.
We
All day
did that.
Saturday.
We did
Yep.
that, man. Then I used to go to Cage. You know, I would meet them at the Cage sometime. You know, I would meet uh God bless Russ, man. I used to meet him at the Cage all the time at Five Towns. Man, I used to meet him out there, man. We go out there and swing,
Right.
put $30 in the machine, just swing, man. You know, so that's how I got better with that, man. But you know,
Mhm.
I know how much work you put into that to get better at it. You know what I'm saying?
Jamal, what up?
Who's that big? Who's that? Brother Jamal? Tell him I said
Jamal.
what's. Well, I know you can hear
Yeah,
me.
my
What's
brother
up, Jamal?
Jamal.
Yeah,
He hear you.
he,
He hear
he's
you.
he's one of the Kingston Park home run guys. You know what I mean? That's a small group. That's a small group of guys, man.
That dude there hit
That's
some
a small
bombs,
group of
man. You
guys,
know, I
man.
give him
You can count that group on
I,
like a hand and a half.
I give him a hard time all the time because I'm his blood, but I'll tell you this,
Yeah, he
monster.
good people, man. Too good,
Yeah, good people. Family great.
good
Great
people, man.
peoples. Yeah, that's my dude right there. Love you,
Good people.
Cuzzo. Hmm.
I want to talk about A60. How
Talk
that
about
got
it.
started. Now you can give me. Now you can listen. You can give me the rated X version.
There is no
Now
rated X version. This is a
you
straight
can give me
version.
the you can give me. You don't have to give me. You can give me the version that you know where we don't have to talk about everybody, or you can give me that version. You can give me whichever version you want to give me about how you started A60, how I got started.
Little Joe, what up, Little Joe?
Little
Appreciate
Joeski.
that conversation. Little Joe, that's my guy right there. Giants, you coming out this year? You coming out this year? Um, A60 got started, and before it was A60, it was called shout out to Seven Softball
Okay.
Chronicles. That was the original name before A60. And when I say that is because I didn't have a name. I was just doing interviews. My first interview was with T.O. May he rest in
Mm-hmm.
peace. My second interview was with Reggie, and my third interview was with Speedy, and then I think my fourth interview was with Butch. So by the time I got to Butch, I did the interview with Butch, and then after that, Butch said, you know, you ever heard of E60? We need to call you A60. So Butch was the first person to put that battery in the back. Now, the way these interviews started was T.O. used to do posts about Hall of Fame. He used to always talk about Kingston Park being the softball Rucker
Mm-hmm.
Park. And then he said, we need to do a Hall of Fame. And I said, well, you keep posting stuff. Why don't you talk about it? And he was like, I will talk about it. I said, well, let me interview you. So I interviewed him, and we did that first interview. I did my second interview. I get a text message from one of my homeboys, my boy Jay. He said, yo, Al, you seem like you know what you're doing over there when you're doing those interviews. And I said, I'm just having fun. I'm interviewing my peoples. It's nothing. He was like, yo, I think you should probably take it a little bit serious. Okay. So that's when I went and did Red, Speedy, Butch. And I started going on just interviewing a bunch of people. And and people don't realize, I know it's been a 6-year process, but I'm working on doing a documentary for Kingston and St. John's Park. That's why I do so many interviews, so I can put the clippings together and make sure it's happening. So we had cameras out there this weekend, so I'm still trying to do more interviews with certain people that I haven't got. Some I need to still do over, because we didn't cross over to how the platform that we have right now. It all started with my phone originally on Facebook Live. But now I have it on my
Mhm.
YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel. So now I get to save all those interviews. But that's how A60 actually got started. It got started during COVID, 2021. And T.O. was the first interview, and I just kept doing them and getting the history because I'm so much of a student of the game and the knowledge to know, and I say ancestors, the guys, what they did before me. I never got a chance to play against a bingo. I never got a chance to play against some of those guys, that did it on that
Mhm.
stage before me in that park in
You're-
Gershwin.
and Bessie
So,
had
and Bessie Head. So to get those
and
stories
66
and
Park,
those
because that's where
interviews,
it originally started
oh,
at 66 Park on Southern Stone.
okay. And just to hear that information, I'm
Right.
amazed by it. So that kept the interview, and I apologize. Bobby Reedy came out to the park Friday when I did the A60, and I didn't introduce myself because I was so busy going on. I want to
Right.
interview Bobby,
Great,
but
great
because I
man,
heard him
great
never
stick,
play
man.
with me, right? And,
Great
and
base,
and those
great
are the
baseball
stories I
player, man.
hear.
Great
That's
baseball,
what I'm saying. So I wanted to get. That's I've been in tune
yeah,
with that
great baseball
history,
player.
and that's what I want. So that's where it all started, and that's why I love what I do because I get to share history and conversations with my brothers and sisters because I can't forget my sisters
Right,
because they did some
right,
amazing things as
right.
well. Shout out to Renee, who helped me out, Regina, and Elma and all the ladies, Jamila, and all the ladies that participated in softball where I was watching because I was a student then, just like I'm a student now. So I
We
got to
got
give
some
a
great,
shout
we
out
got
to
some
all those
great
ladies.
girl, we got some great girl players and great girl teams. I used to
That's right.
umpire the games
That's right.
in BRC, man. They used to
Yeah.
the ladies league used to be over there, man. They was tough back then.
I should travel with them to the Bronx. I
Right.
should travel with
No,
them to
yeah,
the
yeah,
Bronx to
that's
go
right.
play.
On the dirt, on the
You
grass,
know,
in the Bronx.
so,
Yeah.
yeah. So I gotta give them respect and a shout
Yes,
out too. They asked me to bring a girls team this year, and I
yes,
will do that. I will make it
yes,
happen. Don't
yes.
worry about it. So that's how A60 got started, and I just love what it started. I love the brand. I love bringing my team up there every year. It's fun. I think this year was a great year. Like I said, but every year is a great year for me because I get to come home and play softball against my
Right.
family. And the fact that everybody is in tune and want to play and be and participate in it. Guys get geared up
Learn,
for it. They put their team together to beat me. Which that's the fun part. That is the fun part when they put the teams together to beat you, and you're like, I don't even care about losing. I just the fact that I get to play in the
right.
field. Shout out to my boy Mike Ashley. That's my young boy. Shout out to Julian who played with me this year. I like playing with my nephews.
Hmm?
It's so much fun to get to play with the younger generation now. Little JB, and I say little JB, he's a grown man. I get to play against these guys. You know what I'm saying? And play with
These
them to
guys
play
that was
against them.
watching
So
us
it's
coming up.
fun. Right. So that's
Remember
fun
JB
to
bringing
me,
his sons to the
knowing
park, bringing them there.
that. So that's amazing to me, and it's still amazing. It's going to always be that way. So I have a good time
No,
with it.
it's a beautiful event, man. The
Yeah, so
camaraderie,
it's fun, and I get to see a lot of
man.
the OGs.
The family, the people, everybody just having a good time. Man. You
Can't
can't
change
beat
it.
it, man. You can't. That's why I try to tell cats don't miss it, man, because you know when we go to events like this and we have these kind of things that we go to, that hug you give somebody, you don't know if that's going to be the last time you hug them. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
As I talked to you before, we hope everybody's back next year, but there might be one that's not back, and maybe the last time you saw them was at that event. Maybe you took a
Yeah,
picture with them. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you got a hug from them. You know what I'm saying? And that's the kind of things that what you're doing here, it brings out. They told me about that park in St. John's on Friday, how packed it was.
it was. Let me tell you. Let me tell you how crazy it was, Jake. It was packed before we
Right.
got there.
Okay.
Like people were sitting in the
Right.
bleachers already. We didn't even get on the field,
Mm.
but just to meet up. Everybody meeting up. Everybody talking. What's up? Hey, how many you got? You got? Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, everybody just under those
It's a reunion,
lights.
man.
It reminded me of 40 and over. And I never got a chance to
Right.
play 40 and over. That's why I did Friday night. Because it reminded me of 40 and over. So I said, you know what?
Used to have a
Let's do
crowd
it
for that
again.
40 and over, man.
What?
Crowd. 40,
I remember
yeah.
watching those games. Mondays and Wednesdays. I remember coming up
Crowd
there to
goes up.
watch Hall of Fame,
Right, that's my team.
Brooklyn.
But we never could beat Brooklyn. We finally beat Brooklyn after Tony stole the pitcher from Brooklyn. They finally won, but I wasn't on that team. But Brooklyn was always the ones knocking us out, man. I was a Hall of Famer for a little while. He always knocked
There
us
was
out.
some good
But he
teams
had some
up
good
there.
teams, good competition there. It was, you look forward
Yeah,
to it, man. Like I said, it was always crowded. I think people don't
that's right.
understand about these leagues that's why, like you talked about doing the documentary with St. John's and Kingston, but people don't understand that there was a before that. You understand?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
Kingston Park is not, that might be the beginning for the TO guys and guys that never played in Gershwin or never played in Betsy Head or never played in 66. I didn't even play in that era. I started in Bessie Head.
Right.
But as I try to tell
Right.
people sometimes, the people that don't know about Bessie Head per square feet, it was just as crowded as Kingston Park on a Sunday.
See?
And they had basketball
Okay.
going on the other side of the fence. And it was packed. And the money was being bet probably, I'm not gonna say more than because it's more people now. You got a bigger park.
Right.
But it was packed. Every Sunday. It was packed. Gershwin.
And not realizing that it was convenient for everybody because a lot of
Right,
people
right.
lived
Well,
on
we
that
had people
side.
come from everywhere, but it was packed. It was
Yeah.
packed. That's why I always tell people when they talking about this greatest team thing, I'll be telling people, I believe my Sugar Shack team could have played against any team, anytime, in any
I heard about that
you know,
too. I heard
we could have
about
played
that.
with anybody. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get into that. That's why I don't get into that greatest team or player stuff because guys have played in this league for decades. It didn't start in. Well, I always like to correct people. There's no such thing as Kingston
Yeah.
Park. It's St. Andrews Park. Okay, there's no Kingston. It's not even played on Kingston Avenue. It's played over Atlantic and Hertman.
Right.
Okay, but so I like to just give them that once in a while. So these guys that made up this name, it's all good, but there was a before that. So hopefully when you do your documentary, you try to get some research on before because there was St. John's, but there was also Red Hook. Yeah,
Right.
you
No, I
understand what
know.
I'm
I
saying?
heard
Like,
about that. Yes.
you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So
Yes.
it wasn't just
Yes.
played in that park. It wasn't just played. It was
Yes.
played somewhere before that. And you would probably have to get the old timers that played in St. John's back in the days. Because I told you when I first played in the pitch, it was in Red Hook, and somebody threw me the pitch, and I looked up in the air, and I was like, "Yo, what's that?" And my man said, "Strike." I said, "What?" I said, "Man, she was over my head, man." He said, he said, "Nah, man." Somebody whispered to me, "No, that's the pitch, man. Our pitch, man." Like I said, I popped up, and after that, I was gone, man. I said, "Yo, Mac, take me out, man. I don't want to play that no more." And I didn't play it no more again till, man, I finally played with the Outlaws. That's the next time I played it, playing in there. So I wasn't a big fan of it either, but it was a challenge, man. You know what I mean? I wanted to be successful. Just like you said, you got some people who, they helped you, inspire you to do something because they did something wrong or said something wrong. I've had that, but that's how we succeed. We prove people wrong. We prove
Definitely.
people
Yeah.
wrong. I've heard them comments about
It's all
myself
about
too.
motivation.
This was going to be happening by the time I get to this age, that age, that, you know. Thank God I've been able to say, prove a lot of people wrong. You know what I'm saying? So, that's a part of life, man. But this thing you doing right here, man, you keep doing it, man. Don't let nobody try to, you know, just keep doing it the way you're doing it, man. You don't need no changes. Whatever you're doing to get it done, keep doing it that way, man. Because it's been very successful, man. And like I said, I've been proud to be a part of it, man. I've been proud to be a part of it, man.
And I appreciate you for being part of it. I appreciate all the OGs that reach out, send text
Mm-hmm.
messages, and let me know how they feel about it. And even when they see me in person, when I come up there, they show the
Right.
respect and love. So that's why I keep doing it for my OGs. You know what I'm saying? That it's they appreciate it because they get talked about. I want to make sure they never forgotten. I want to always make sure they never forgotten because, like I said, there was people before me,
Mm-hmm.
and I would never
Mm-hmm.
forget the people that came before me. You know, just like when we talk about center fielders that played out there in the park. Of course, I'm going to always put Milk and D-Mac before
Right.
me. I'm going to always put them before because that's the era I
Right.
played in. You know what I mean? Now, before me, I didn't play with a bingo. I didn't play when Tony Cherry and Rich Murray was playing in center field. You
I
know what I'm
played center
saying?
field. Brian, Bessie Head.
See,
I
I
keep
didn't, I
trying to
didn't,
tell people. That's
I
why when
didn't play
people talk
that.
about catches, I'm like, yo, man, I don't know nothing about that. I'm a center fielder,
Yeah.
man. I'm a leadoff hitter, center fielder. I don't know nothing about no catching. Like I said, when we was growing up, the catcher was the scrub. you know what I'm saying?
They just
You
gave me
know what I'm
that
saying?
spot.
When we was growing up playing in the neighborhood, if you was catching, you was a scrub. You was a scrub on the team. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't know nothing about that. I did that in Kingston Park because we had the thoroughbreds in the outfield. I didn't have to go out there. You know
Yep.
what I mean? We had the young guys with the legs, young legs, go get them. I didn't have to do that. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So that's just the
Yep.
way it is. But, you know, regrets. Got any of those?
The one regret I have is that well, two. I didn't win a championship with Jamal and Sean. That's one. But the very first regret is I never went to that Florida Marlins tryout. That was that's probably the biggest regret that I have. And but it also set up for other things to take place. Like just to give you an example, they I was with the Harlem Wizards and they were doing Nike commercials while I was with the Wizards, and all my friends were in the Nike commercials. I wasn't allowed to go to those commercials because I was a rookie.
Mm,
The owner wouldn't let me go. I could have got in those commercials because of my guys, but I was like the Nike Freestyle commercial. I could have had an opportunity to do that commercial. I wasn't able to go, but my guys were able to go. They did an Adidas commercial. My guys was in that commercial. I wasn't able to go. I was so it was just always I say missed opportunities, not as much as regrets. And that was just some of them that put me to a path to where you know what, take what's in
Mm-hmm.
front of you and utilize what's in front of you and make the best of what's in front of you. So that's something that I always how I look at things now. You know, I don't look at nothing as really a regret. But if you wanted to put it at, those are the two things that I think about. But it also set up other things in motion to happen because I probably wouldn't have been able to do
Yes,
those
indeed.
things if I didn't do this. So that's what one of the things that I
Mm-hmm.
consider when it comes to those two major regrets. But also, I'm blessed with what came out of those things that I didn't do. You know, I probably would have never been the logo of the Harlem Wizards if I'd have went to those commercials. You know, I probably would have never got an opportunity to do the and one tour if I'd have been doing this commercial, Nike commercial. So you know, you look at how things balance
Mm-hmm.
off and bounce off, and you're like, look what you got. Instead of getting that, look
Right.
what you got.
Right.
You know, and shout out to Headache and Half Man, Half Amazing
Mm-hmm.
for getting me that
Yeah.
opportunity to be a
Yeah.
part of and one.
That Kenny
You
Smith
know,
stole my man name. I can't stand him for that. He gave it to Vince
uh,
Carter
uh,
and half a man.
talking about
Stole that
yeah,
name.
yeah,
He
gave him Half
stole
Man,
that
Half
name because
Amazing.
he was half man and half amazing. He,
Oh, he's
he's
the
the original
originator,
half
and
man,
you
half
know he tried
amazing.
to get him. You know he tried to get him the battle for the one on
Okay.
one game,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it never
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. It wasn't gonna happen. Man. It
No,
wasn't
it
gonna
wasn't gonna
happen.
happen.
Yeah, he stole that name. He gave he
Yeah,
was told about that, how you stole that name,
yeah,
and that name wasn't you gave it to Vince Carter, but it was somebody before Vince Carter with that name.
which was
Right. It was
copyrighted.
That's right. He shouldn't have did that.
And and my boy Biz from
Hmm?
Bed Stuy will tell you
Right.
that story.
Right.
It's the
Yeah, I'm
story
quite sure it
behind it.
is. I'm quite
That's
sure it is.
oh, it
Yeah.
is. So and I would get him to
I,
do an interview too. Shout out
I'd
to
like to
Biz
hear
with
that
us.
story. I would
That's
like to hear.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I wish I could get.
It's
I
a
really
lot of
wish I could
stories.
get on TV while he's on there and say, "Yo, listen, you stole my man's name, man. You gave it to another dude, man.
Yeah, he
Not
did.
that Vince Carter is
And
not
he
half
did it.
man, half. He is amazing, but
He actually did it. If I'm not mistaken, it's an and one commercial
okay,
about that.
all right, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So
The future, man.
longevity. You know that my future is longevity. Be remembered for what I've done. That's my future.
What's
And what
next
I
for you
mean
with
by that,
softball? What's next? You told me you were playing.
you know, playing wise, I think my next phase because I've done it already, but I think I'm gonna do it again. And shout out to my Lot Lizard family that's playing tonight. I hope they won tonight. But I don't know. They'll send me a text in a few. Um, is to manage that Lot Lizards
Okay.
team. You know, that's to take over, play tournaments. You know, do some things that we used to do, coordinate it, and make it more structured to where these guys are being seen and being
Mm-hmm.
competitive. Because there's a lot of young boys that I know. There's a lot of young boys that I respect. There's a lot of young boys that respect me, and I want to put them on. I want to want people to see what they
Right.
really can do on that high level because I think they can play on that high level, and um, I want to put it out there. So that's my thing with softball. As far as me playing, it's fun. You know, there's only so much I can do, and when I say so much I can do, I've won so much to where else is there for me to do? This has become
More
fun
winning,
for me
man.
now.
More
There's
winning,
no,
man. I always tell people
you
I
know
played into my 60s, man. It's the first summer I ain't played. But as I always tell people, I ain't come out here to have no fun, man. I got a lot of stuff I could do to have fun, man. If I'm handing you
but you
some
know what,
money
dude?
to play on the softball team, to be a part of the team, it's business, man.
It's always business, but the winning that I've
Right.
tasted is a different
You
type of
think so?
winning.
Listen, it feels
Yeah,
just as good as 60, man. You bust somebody
it
ass.
does.
When you bust somebody ass,
It
it feels
does.
just as good. When you go
It
to one of
does.
these listen, when you
It
go to one
does.
of these tournaments in
But you
Florida,
don't.
or you go to one of these tournaments in Connecticut, or you go to one of these tournaments and it starts out with 40 teams, and just like everybody else, you the last two, and then you the last one holding the trophy up. You know what I'm saying? Yo, listen, man. I, I feel the
But that's
same
what I'm
way
saying.
when I
Out here,
wanted more better high school. I feel the same way. Probably even more now because to be able to do it at this age, you know what I'm saying? And to do it competitively, not just get out there, you playing, people call it like old man softball. No, it ain't. It's competitive softball. A lot of these cats are still got great bodies. They're in great shape, you know. And like I said, if you don't come out
but
there
see,
half
out
stepping,
here
you'll
is
get your
this.
ass cracked.
But see, out here, these guys, and I'll say some of these guys get excited about a T-shirt,
Right. Well,
and like I explained to them, I said we got rings, jerseys, uniforms, traveled. Like I want that type of
right.
feeling. That makes it more
But you can
competitive for
get that
me.
though where you at in Texas, man, because there's a lot of competitive. Man, I've been playing in tournaments, man.
It's
We
a
got
lot.
teams.
It's a lot. It's a lot, but you gotta have the right
Okay.
pieces
Right.
to win. And the way we play in New York is the same way they play here. It's based off
Right.
speed. And when you play with speed and you have good gloves, you're gonna win all day,
Mm-hmm.
every day. And of course, you got to bang the ball.
That's first and foremost.
You're gonna need your
Especially in
you're
that
gonna
throw
need
it
your
up in
one
the
or
air
two
pitch, man. Got to hit.
throwing up there. You're gonna need your one or two. You're gonna need your one or two boppers to do what they do, but you still got to have those
Yes.
rabbits that need to get on base
Definitely.
and do what they need to
Definitely.
do. But we also got to catch the
Mm-hmm.
ball. You know, that makes a big difference. So, you ask, my future is to be more competitive on that level. Like I see the writing on
Right.
the wall. I see that I can put together a really good team and I can compete out here in Texas to be dominant. Where I see some of these teams that I'm looking at, I'm like, you're only dominant because you got nice bats. You ain't dominant because you're
Right.
skilled. The big difference between being with your bat and skill. I want to do something different where we good with the skill as well
Mm-hmm.
as the bat. When we walk into the park, you're like, yo, that's the team we playing? Oh wow, that's crazy. That's what I want. And I have the right pieces to do that with. So that's what I
Don't you
want
don't
for my
don't you
future.
have uh, a, a youth team also?
Um, I stopped coaching
Okay. Oh, all right.
basketball. And the reason why I stopped coaching, I'll say this because I thought a lot of the guys that were coaching, they thought they could outcoach me, and they couldn't. Plain and simple. Not gonna lie to you. And then a lot of people, when my son got hurt, when he tore his PCL, a lot of people fell back from him. But it gave me a chance to see who they really are as genuine coaches. They didn't grow up with the armor that we have. They grew up with the armor of I just
Mm-hmm.
want to win. And to me, that's not what I built my organization off of. I built my organization off of loyalty. I had parents that have been with me. I put I got kids at Texas Tech. I got kids at
Okay.
Oklahoma. I got kids at Texas A&M. I got kids all over the country playing, not playing sports, but for
Okay.
academics.
I hear you.
I got kids at Colorado, Indiana, and they stayed with me until they graduated.
How did you get started in that?
I like to say it was a setup because my brother-in-law at the time, Aaron, he had a football team. They was in the third grade, and they wanted to keep the team together from football to basketball. So I end up coming over to the football dinner or championship, whatever they did, a party. And they said, we got a basketball coach. And I said, who y'all got? Mind you, I just moved to Texas at that time. I'm still competitive playing basketball. Happened to go to first practice, went to the first practice, and they was like, yo, who's coaching? And I'm looking around. And they said, well, you the coach.
Mm.
That third grade team, I end up started with one team, one season. Ended up to six teams the next season. And that team, we started out, I want to say 0-5, but every game we got better to where the the one of my guys came to me and said, "Hey, Al, I don't think this is working out." And I said, "Have you noticed? We lost by 20, we lost by 15, we lost by 10, now we lost by 5. We getting good." First game in the season, one of the teams we played against, named the Lakers, we lost by like 30 points. He told my kids, "If you want to learn how to play basketball, you come play for me."
Mm.
We end up playing that same team in the first round of the playoffs, and we won by
Mm.
30. So I shook his kid's hand and said, "If you want to learn how to play basketball, you need to
He
come play
could
for
see
me."
you. I hear that.
So that led to us getting to the championship game, which they cheated us out of. We had 11 kids, so they said all the kids got to play. Well, one of the kids on my team ended up wanting to be the best players I probably would ever coach, besides my son, said he was getting in so much trouble. I suspended him for the first half. So because he didn't play that first half, they said we cheated. But I was disciplining him. His mom
Right,
said to
so
do that. Mind you, we was already up by 15 points. I told the coach, if I put him in the game, we're going up by 30. He said, well, put him in the game. We went up by 30. And we ended up winning. They took the championship from us. We went to another league. We won for a whole year and a half straight. That same team that I ended up keeping until they graduated high school.
wow.
And then by the process of that, I end up getting another team, that I've ended up staying to where I've created my own program, which was the Texas Rebels, which a lot of the kids that I coached then, they all in school now, in college now. I got one kid at Baylor who practiced with the Baylor women's team. Kurt, probably one of the best 3-point shooters I've coached, next to Matthew. One of the best players I've ever coached, next was Terrence. Nick, one of the most loyal kids I've ever coached. Uh, then you got Mateo, who was one of the most thuggish kids I've coached. And when I say thuggish, meaning he didn't take shit from nobody, which is he's a quarterback. I can't think of the school he's at right now, but he's a quarterback right now. Zach, who's probably one of the most out of control players I coach, because I call him my son to this day. We just hung out. He just brought his new car. Coach, I got a brand new car. Come on, let me hang out with you. It's not the relationships. You don't just coach these kids,
Yes,
it's relationships later
yes,
on in life.
yes.
And I can call any of these kids on my phone and they'll answer the phone for me.
You're
These are
making
my
them
kids,
productive members of society also, bro. That's really important.
Exactly. Young men,
Right,
young men. And we
right,
travel together. I've drove kids to Orlando and back, Oklahoma, San Antonio,
right.
all over. These are my
Respect that.
babies. These parents accepted that. Um, so that's my basketball program. So this year, I'm hoping to get back into it, starting over again with a girls' third grade team. A friend of mine's reached out to me to do it. So I'm hoping to do that full
It's
throttle.
still be
Third
under your
grade
Texas
girls.
Rebel.
We don't know yet, but it'll be a brand. And then when they're ready to cross over to that brand, it'll definitely be my Lady Rebels
Okay.
brand that they would do. And when they're ready to do it, and they still in development, they third grade. My goal is to make sure by the time they get to seventh grade, they'll be ready to
Mm-hmm.
play ball. So that if they stay together, and I told them that I promise you they'll be ready if they stay with me. And I haven't lied to anybody since I've coached them. Nobody can ever say I haven't taught. I've taught some kids who couldn't chew bubblegum and walk at the same time, and they would end up starting at
I
their
hear
high
that.
school.
I hear that.
So that's something that I take very much
Yes, you
pride in.
should, and you should. You should, because
Yeah. So,
you not only get respect from the kids, but you get respect from the parents, respect in the community. You know, again, when you raising young men and young women to be productive members of society, and they look back on you, and just like when in your interview, you were saying shout out to Coach so and so, and shout out to this one, and shout out to that one on your journey
mm-hmm.
to the success you've had. You can look back and thank so many people that had a hand in where you at right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's the
Definitely.
beauty of community work. I
Yes,
try to tell people
I agree.
sometime that, you know, I don't think that like Coach Degree gets the absolute credit that he does because of all of the kids that he's coached as far as football is concerned. How many kids that he sent to college? How many kids that, I always tell this story about we sitting outside in front of my house, man, smoking a cigar. And matter of fact, I was smoking first. Next door to me, we had some kids that was kind of troubled. And so one of the kids had, his pants or underneath the drawers, the whole nine. And Chris came down the block. And he turned his homeboys now, believe now, he mind you now, these show enough knuckleheads, bro. I'm talking about
Hmm.
cream of the
Hmm.
crop. And my man turned and he saw Chris coming down the street. He said, "Oh shit, Coach Degree." Oh man. Homeboys, they were smoking. The homeboy said, "Oh, Coach, you?" He said, "Yo, that's my football coach." Your homeboy pulled his pants up, fixed his belt. And Chris came over to him and saw him. He said, "Oh man." He said, "Hey, Coach Degree, how you doing, man?" Came over and shook his hand. Coach gave him a hug. "Hey, how you doing? What's going on? How you doing?" But Coach already assessed the situation when he walked up that. You know what
Right,
I mean?
right,
He
right,
knew what
right.
was going on. But it
Hmm.
was just the respect factor that he showed them because Chris had coached this guy for like maybe since 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
now this kid is like 17, 18. And he's one of those that got away. One of those that
Yes, I
got away.
understand.
And now the kid's doing life. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh
but it's
wow.
so unfortunate that, like I said, but I like to tell that story about how, like, all day long, this kid is when he saw Coach, man, it was like, yo, he had to pull his pants up, man, fix his belt, the whole nine. I guess the homeboys was looking at him like, yo, what you doing, man? He said, Coach, that's Coach
Hmm.
Degree, man. I can't, I heard on this, that's Coach Degree. And then when he came to the stoop, he said, hey, Coach, how you doing, man? Just like so, like he went to back into like young baby stage, like, all that homeboy. It was like gone for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And then he
It's
was
that
he was
respect
chill, he
factor, man.
chilled for a little while, and then they just walked off, man. It was like he just walked off, him and his boy, man. He just walked off. Man. I guess he didn't want Coach to see him smoking no weed. He didn't want Coach to see him doing none of that. He just walked off, man. You know what I'm saying? So again, man, when you like what you're doing now, you're gonna have, you got kids then that's 10 years from now. You know what I mean? They're gonna remember just like you talking about them. They're gonna talk about you, man, like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that was my goal. That was
I
my goal to have the lasting memory, so they can understand that what I feel is genuine. Because with the people that I was around was
yes,
genuine, so that's why I wanted to give them that same genuine. I have a mom who still call me
right.
now. Hey, my son needs some advice. All right, what do you need? He wants to only talk to you. Okay. What do you need? He wants your advice on if he should get this car or that car. He only trusts you.
Wow.
Like I still get that. Like my boy Terrence. His birthday was Saturday. Happy birthday, son. He texts me on my birthday. Happy birthday, pops. Like these are my kids. Like all of them, and I'm just saying those two, but these are all my kids. And they know even my girls that I used to coach. Coach Al, you okay? You good? You need anything? I had a little birthday party out here on Saturday. Two of my kids came
Okay.
just to hang out with me. You know, just to hang out with me. Just because they wanted to see me. So it's special. What I do, and I don't take it for granted, and I enjoy it. So, and I tell my story. My son, my baby Jaden, he got me a book for my birthday. He said, "Dad, you have so many stories. You need to write them down."
Mm.
He said, "You have a story for everything." He said, "You think we don't listen? We hear every story you have." I said, "Because what you experienced,
And
I
now they're
already
going to be
did."
able to turn around and look at this interview.
Yeah. And my baby, he didn't want to do interviews. He said, "Dad, you need to do so. You need to do another one with me." He said, "I'm ready again. I got more to
Right.
tell." So I said, "Okay." So it's good that I have the relationship with my boys like that. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually I'll get my daughter to filter into this interviewing process, which I think would be hilarious. Because I know how she is. Um, but I want to do that too. That'll be, daughter, daddy, how it is, ups and downs, it goes back and forth. But the fact that we can still have this conversation and we can talk about it in front of people, because some people don't know how to understand everything ain't always proper. Everything ain't hunky
Right.
dory, but the fact that y'all can talk about it and be open about it, there's no shame in your game. I don't
Right.
hide anything. There's nothing to hide. I
No.
am who I am. Reg, what up,
Brother
Reg?
Reg,
Reg is in the check-in.
you
So
know, because I know one of the interviews, you talked about the mental health. You
it's
talked about the mental health. Matter of fact, you spoke on that before you interviewed me about the mental health, and people don't understand that. That's real, and we as men and women should not be afraid to come say, I got some issues, because that's the only way you get through them, is letting people know you got a problem in the first place. You know, so it was really big for you to share that you had went through something, but the bottom line is you came through on the other side. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It don't make you no less a man. It don't it you know what I'm saying?
No,
Don't make you no less a person. You know, we all got stuff.
and people judge you on how they
Right.
want to judge you, and
I
mental
say,
health is
listen, I
real.
say the serenity prayer for those people, man.
Yeah,
Those are things
it's
I can't
definitely
control. You
real.
know what I mean? You know, I can't
Yeah,
control what people think.
um, it's definitely been real. Um, but like I said, you gotta have a
Oh,
supporting
definitely,
cast to help you
definitely.
battle through those
Yes.
demons. And I I told somebody, I said the hardest thing about turning 50 was my grandmother and grandfather's not here, and my mother and father's
Hmm.
not here. They never got a chance to see me um, turn 50. They never didn't get a bigger opportunity for me was I knew I made it, and my world made it was when I was able to take my grandfather out to
Hmm.
dinner and pay for
Wow.
it. When he paid for me for so long, when I was able to pay my grandmother's cable bill or phone bill, that was
Hmm.
big for me. When I was able to take my mom out and buy her drinks, it's on me tonight. Don't worry about it. You know, that's when I knew I stepped into a different era. And everybody looks differently
Becoming a
after that.
man.
You
Becoming a
know,
man.
right. So, and my grandfather, he did everything with cash. He never believed in no banks.
Mhm.
So when to take him out to eat, I took him to his first restaurant.
Wow.
I took him. Order whatever you want on that restaurant. He said, "What?" I said, "Here, order whatever you want." I took him to his first restaurant, and I paid his. He said, "What you doing?" I said, "I'm paying for you. Put that money in your pocket. I got you today."
Mm.
And we had to fight
Wow.
over the payment because he wanted to pay, but I was able to pay for him. My grandmother, I said, "What bill you want me to pay this month?" She said, "What? What bill you want me to pay this month? You done paid all these bills. I'm gonna take care of something this month." She said, "Pay the cable bill. Pay for it right then and there."
That's a young man that didn't forget where he came from.
And I take pride in that because I seen my grandmother give her last for me to go play
Hmm.
baseball. I seen my grandfather take me to sit at a diner and show me how to order off a menu. To this day, I still order the same thing: scrambled eggs over easy, toast
I hear
lightly
that.
buttered.
I hear
So
that, man.
I
I hear
still,
that.
you know what I'm
I
saying?
hear
So
that,
I
man.
take that
Listen, listen,
as
life experiences, man. That's what help us
yeah.
grow.
So
That's what
I
help
don't
us
forget.
grow and what can help us continue to grow. You know, because when you think you
I don't
know it
forget.
all,
I don't forget.
then the growth stops. That's when it
No,
stops, man. You know, it's
I'm
always
still
no.
learning.
You're supposed to
This,
learn till you leave here.
yeah, you're still learning. This,
You
it's
know,
not over yet. You know, I still got a lot to learn. I
it
don't
gets
know
better.
everything, but you know what? I'm gonna
It gets
figure it
better,
out.
man. If you keep doing
Yeah,
what you're
it
doing, it
gets
gets
better.
better. It don't get. It gets better. It don't get. You know,
And I know on the other end, it's gonna get a lot better. And then to see the people, like I said, to go back to the
mm-hmm.
reunion, and Virginia can tell you this. I was sitting at the gate at St. John's, and I was just looking. She said, "What's wrong, Al?" I said, "Turn around and look." And everybody was having a good time, having a conversation, talking and all that. I said,
No
that's what I want to
fighting.
see.
No arguing.
That was the beautiful thing. They just to sit there and
Everybody
just
just
watch.
chilling, man. Everybody just. It was a reunion.
And
It's a reunion. You know. Plus, it lets you know too how big this softball and sports community in general is here in our town.
yeah,
It's big, man. It's
yeah.
big. It is very big. And
And nobody will never know
you
if
don't
you
tell
don't
the
tell the
story,
story.
man. Nobody will know. You know what I'm saying?
And that's another reason why I
Right,
do it.
right.
That's another reason why I do it. And I tell people there's an underlying story to everything that goes on in these parks. And I pretty much know a lot of them. And I remember I got slack for telling the story. And I said, nobody else can tell the story like me because I actually was a part of it. And I was in the trenches. And when I mean being in the trenches, I'm telling you from my
Mm-hmm.
angle. I can't tell you before my angle. That's why I'll get the people before me tell
Right,
their story. When it comes to 96 and on, I can tell you that story because I
right.
was there. I was on those benches. I heard those conversations. I went to those parties. As a matter of fact, we was talking about Africa
Yeah,
House
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. They was
Black
talking
Sox
about that in the
party.
park.
We were talking about that. We
Right.
was talking about
The
that, and I
Movement
said,
parties in Africa House, man.
and I told somebody, me and Speedy was talking about. I said, "Do you realize, Speedy? We did the party at the Africa House. That was my 21st
Oh,
birthday."
really?
He said, "What?" I said, "That was the picture with me. I posted the picture with me, Darren, Jeff, Al, and I think Wayne was in that picture. That was my 21st birthday, and I wore a two-piece suit to that party because it was my 21st birthday. I said I wanted to dress up like a grown man on my 21st birthday. I'll never
So
forget that.
imagine that was your 21st birthday, man. I was almost
21st,
already almost 40 years old, man. And I was at that party,
21st.
man. I, you know what I mean? I was
Yeah,
at that party. Man. You know what I'm saying? So that's
yeah.
like I tell people how many years we've been doing this, man. You know, I've been playing sports for 6 decades. Six
It's crazy.
decades. Competitive sports. Wow. I've been competing since I was 9 or 10 years old. We was competing. Whether we was competing against each projects, you know what I'm saying? Like, or we was in housing authority and we was competing against each other housing project, Tilden's in. Then when you get to a certain place, you're going out to Marcy and you're going over here to play against them. That's the playoffs. And then, man, I've been competing since, wow. Hey, listen, our football games on the grass back in the days when we was 9 and 10, 11 years old was competitive, man. It was competing. Because back then, we didn't have nothing else to do but play. Phones, no
Yeah,
laptops, no. That's all we did all day long was play. So we've been competing. You know, I've been competing for 60 years, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not. I don't think I'm finished. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I'm finished. Maybe I am. That's why I'm trying to make a decision now. Do I want to come back next year and play or don't? Whatever. I guess time will tell.
Of
Time will
course it will.
tell. But you know, I can truthfully say if I don't play no more, I had a great ride, man. I had a great ride. You know.
And as long as you're
Yeah. Oh
comfortable with
no,
that,
definitely, man.
that's
I'm
all
very
that matters. I'm not
right.
comfortable with it because I know I can
Oh
still help
yes,
somebody.
that's why I'm telling you. Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
you
So,
got a whole lot of softball, man, to play, man. You got a whole
yeah,
lot.
I
You know,
know I can still
you
be
know,
effective
you got a whole
somewhere.
lot of softball left to play, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. Listen, man. I'm telling you, man. You got a lot of softball. You got a lot of stuff left in you, man. Like I said, this is the third quarter right now, man. You still young, man. That's young. It's
Yeah.
50, man. Please, I didn't feel no difference between 45 and 50. You know what I'm saying? I was in the same shape. I was in the same, the age never meant, even up until this point, the age never really meant nothing to me. I usually go out there in shape anyway. So I've always been ready to play, but I be
Mhm.
trying to tell people like some of us guys that say, oh, I ain't touched the bat in years and I ain't touch one. Get out there. If you got time to get out there and do it. I mean, if you can't do it because of health wise, or you just, but if you think you can get, I tell people, man, get out there and play, man. Get out there and get some exercise in, man. Get out there and do something.
It don't hurt. It'll bring back everything you
You
love
know,
to
it,
do.
it is like riding a bike, man. If you know how to do
Right?
that, and you just got to get out there. You can't do it
Mhm.
from the couch, man. They ain't gonna help you on the couch, man. You got to
No,
get
you
out
can't.
there, man. I think that's what's kept me as healthy as it has, because I played and I've been through a lot of things health wise, but I've never let it
Mhm.
stop me, man. I've had 13. I've had
And you
13
shouldn't.
surgeries, man.
That's
But
crazy.
I've
See,
never let it stop me, man. I've never let it stop me, man. Tony will tell you I had knee replacement, and 2 months later I was back on the field, man. 2 months.
mm. Reg, I still play Reg. I still play Reg. Don't get it confused. I play 3 times a week, and I play in some tournaments. Don't. I still play Reg. I still get out there
they,
and
they,
swing
they,
that
they,
thing.
they,
I
they,
still
they
do
see
what
that
I
home
do.
run you hit on Facebook, man. They ain't looked at that, man. The bomb you
That
hit,
that
man, on the video.
that that you should have seen. One of the teams I play on, the dude said, "Ah, you hit 4 straight home runs in 4 straight games. My bat speed ain't
No,
changed.
no.
It's 2 mile per hour
Right.
pitch. I tell these dudes all the time, it ain't the pitcher getting me out. I get
All the
myself
time,
out.
bro. We get ourselves out.
Don't get it confused. But remember, I had to
That's
learn that.
right.
I
Now,
had to
now,
learn that.
now, 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 people need to be, like people playing this arc pitch, man. There is guys that know how to fool you, especially on these tournament levels, man.
Yeah,
You got
yeah,
guys doing all
yeah,
this kind of crazy stuff before they throw the pitch. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
they can get you out. You know what I'm saying?
That
They
fake
get you out.
pitching,
Yeah,
that fake
they can
pitching, and
get
all
you
that
out,
stuff.
man. You know what I'm saying?
The pitch got to come right down the middle. I don't care how
Right.
much you fake. You fake until you
Yes.
blue in the face.
Still
It's
got to
gonna
come
come right
across the
down
plate,
there.
though. Still got,
Come on down here.
still got to come across, man. You know,
Mhm.
anything I ain't cover, anything
What
I
you
ain't
got?
cover, man. Anything I ain't cover.
You tell me. What would you want to
Uh,
cover? What
no,
you think you
I
didn't
mean,
cover?
you've done a fantastic job of giving me your history, man, your story.
I mean, there's a lot.
Listen. This the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, you'll have another story,
Oh yeah. Oh my God. That's
and you'll
another
have a.
10.
That's what I'm
You know what I
saying. In
mean?
the fourth quarter, you'll
Yeah.
have a whole nother story. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
that's the thing about life, man. As we keep going, we keep adding on to the story. You know?
And there's a lot. There's a lot more.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a bunch of stuff that that can be told that don't need to
Right.
be
There you
told. You
go.
know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But you know, um, and this is just
Right. We
softball,
just talking about
right?
sports. But
Yeah,
you know,
this
like I
this is
said to
just
you
softball.
the other day on the phone, like everything ain't for everybody. Everything ain't for
Exactly.
everybody.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Everything ain't for everybody. Some stuff is for you. You know, some stuff is for you, some stuff is for you and family, some stuff. Everything ain't for everybody. You know. But
Um,
this sports journey, this
but
sports journey you've been on has been a great journey, man.
it's been
Great
amazing,
journey,
and
man.
I wouldn't change
Right.
anything. All the players that I came across, um, I normally give that question to everybody. You know, if you had to go around the horn, who would you put in the field? You know, um, I was always partial to Lenny Benjamin playing
Mm-hmm.
first base, a
Right.
heavy. Then I played with Delroy. Didn't realize how good he was, or great. And I'm sorry for saying good. Great he
Right. I
was
know that. I know
until
that.
until until after I hear these
I
stories.
told you that. I
So
told you that on
Jeff,
my interview when you started that. When you started
exactly.
that thing, and I told you I couldn't really did that, but you
Mhm.
did go to second base,
Yeah,
and I told you that
mhm.
Delroy makes sense, bro. I won
That's
7
right. You
championships with
did.
him in the Transit Authority. He was not only a
Yeah,
straight in pitcher, he was a fast pitch hitter. And he was a big game player. He was a guy that came up big at big time. So, and as everybody think you got to be flashy to be considered a good defensive player. But I played with him for 7 years in Transit and 4 years with Mo Better, and I don't remember him making too many errors.
I, in the time that I got an opportunity to play with him, of course, it was towards the end of him, actually playing. Um, I just know him for being very consistent.
Always, always.
You know, so I didn't change anything. Of course, he didn't play tournaments.
Right?
At
He
least
didn't.
when I
No, he
was
didn't
there, he
play that.
didn't
He
play
didn't play the
tournaments.
arc pitch. He didn't play that.
You know, but I know he showed
Fast,
up
none of that.
every game
No, he
with the
didn't play
Black
arc.
Sox. I know he
He didn't like.
played and he did his thing.
He didn't.
Um, but also want to give a shout out to my Mariners team, Uncle, who played. He played in what's the park we played?
McCarron, yeah, yeah, McCarron.
McCarron Park.
Yeah,
Went
they
out there,
always had a good
McCarron.
team. They always had a.
Always had a good team. Shout out to Pete for putting the Pirates together. We played out in
Mhm.
McCarran too. We went out there in McCarran all over. So that
See, that's some
winning.
softball you didn't even touch on. See what I'm saying? No, we
That's
keep
what I'm
we keep
saying.
talking, man. We keep coming.
It,
You know what I'm saying? When you keep talking,
it's
it,
this.
it,
But when you put it all in perspective, to get to the levels that you get to, I had to work twice as hard as the next person. A lot of the guys that came in after me, it was easier for them because the reason why I say that is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of you guys, you said your best. My 21st, you was going into your 40s. That was your prime. A lot of people didn't see you in those early 30s and
no,
20s. You know what I'm saying?
no,
Like,
they didn't.
I had the opportunity to play with you when you came up. It was an automatic. Seven, automatic. Derek
Oh
Oliver,
yeah, St. John and
automatic.
St.
Big D,
John's. Like I said, the only
automatic.
the only team with 8 in a row, 8 homers in a row.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I was at
Right,
that
the
game.
8 home in a row
And
team,
in
bro.
my opinion, that was the best game I've ever
8 home in
seen.
a row.
USA Excalibur. I'm talking about straight home runs for the
First eight,
first
first eight
batters.
guys, man. Me,
And I'm
Tap,
like, wait a minute, there's no way
let's
that's
see, Tap,
possible.
Derek Oliver, me,
Tap, Derek,
Wu.
Ali.
No, Ali wasn't playing with us with Excalibur.
No, well,
No,
USA.
that
No, USA.
the
No,
eight
you talking
home
about
run team is the eight home
Excalibur.
run team is Excalibur.
Okay, so you go seven, Derek, you, Cherry,
Um, Rich
Rich
Murray,
Murray,
uh,
Earl,
um,
Wu.
Wu. Um, I believe that Mike Marsh was on that team also.
Mike
I
Marsh.
believe
Mike
Marsh
Marsh.
was
I'm
on that
sorry.
team also.
Mike Marsh. Yeah, Mike Marsh. He was on that team. Mike Marsh. Man.
Yeah,
Lump.
yeah. Lump played with us. Yep, Lump. Because we
Lump.
forgot
Lump.
about him. We
Lump. Lump.
forgot about him. We was trying to think of the 8 on Saturday, and we forgot about Lump. We did forget Lump.
Reggie said Dougie made the last
Oh,
out. Reg was on that team.
yeah.
Reg.
Yo, that's right. Reg was on Excalibur team. Yeah, he was on Excalibur
Reg
team.
was on that team. Yeah. Reg was on that team. Yeah.
I was looking at our
It was.
first championship jacket, our first pullover. I still got them, man. I got all my stuff. I was looking at it today, man. Yesterday. I was upstairs in my house looking at my first Excalibur championship jacket, man. Nice pullover, nice. I still got it, man. I still got our
That's
3
cool.
in a row.
Is it the black one or the red
black,
one?
but it's red and white numbers in the back. Red and white letters and numbers. And our 3-time championship jacket with the leather sleeves, man. Now I keep my stuff, man. A lot of guys, they be giving it away and catch me talking about they throw them in the garbage. Some guys, nah, man. That's vintage, man. That's vintage.
Yeah.
Vintage, man. I'm going to hand that over to family members one day. Hey, you take one, you take one, you take one.
Right.
That's how you keep yourself moving, man. You keep.
Yeah, you do.
I gave my cousin, man, a Mo Better jacket. And he lived in North Carolina in Raleigh, man. He said he was wearing that jacket one day, and some kid walked up to him and said, "Yo, you know about that program, man?" And he thought he was talking about the baseball. And my man was talking about, nah, they got a football program, man. He said, yo, the kids, they come from up there up north, man. Them kids ain't no joke. He said, yeah, my cousin did tell me about they had a football program. He said, yeah, they won it down here one year. They won it down here. We had the playoffs here. They won it down here one year and went to Florida. Yeah, so, you don't never know where you at, man, when you had that stuff on, man. And people remember, they know you. He had the jacket on, man. So that's why I say you got to tell people, don't get that stuff away, man. If it don't fit, give it to somebody that can wear it, man. It keeps you going too. It keeps your name out there. Because most people here in Brooklyn, man, know about USA. They know about our teams. They know about
anywhere. If you wear any type of championship paraphernalia anywhere in Brooklyn, they know you was a part of something.
They know the deal.
They know you're affiliated with Kingston or St. John's. They know automatically.
You know what I'm saying? So it's good to hold on to that, man. It's good to hold on to that stuff, man.
And that was a good thing. We got some nice stuff.
We did. Like I said, I wear my ring, man. Every now and then I wear it. I let people.
I don't have my Mo Better ring. My grandmother kept that with her, and I kept the AL ring. I kept
your mother got a championship ring.
AL got a championship.
Your mother got a double-digit championship ring. You know what I mean? She got a that name is a double-digit championship.
Well, I won 3 with Mo Better.
So, with that program, you know what I'm saying, like
the organization,
that program,
and I won 2 with another level.
So that organization and that program,
But that was my first championship.
And people need to be proud of the softball we played, of the sports we played, of what we did around here. Because we had a lot of community people involved in what we was doing. Some people look forward to Sunday.
Oh my God.
They look forward to going to one park and then hopping in their cars, or hopping on their bikes, or walking back to the other park. You know what I'm saying? They would go back and forth. Man, you know what I'm saying? So they was loving that, man. They was loving it, man. But listen, man, we gonna wrap this up, man. And I don't know what happened, man. It seemed like you can you hear me? I don't
I'm
know what
back. I'm
happened
back.
here, man.
No. Nothing with you. Nothing with you. Nothing with
Oh,
you.
okay. So you still here?
I'm here. I just
Okay.
I don't know what happened to my camera. Hold on one second.
Oh, there you
Oh, there,
go. There you
there,
go. There you
yeah,
go.
there you go. There
Yeah. But we gonna wrap this up, man. And you still there? Yo.
It just I'm here. It just keeps switching out.
Okay, you here? Oh, okay, you here? Okay. I just want to say, man, it was an honor, man, and I
I
appreciate it,
appreciate you
man.
doing this.
You allowing me to do this interview with you, man. With you, man. I really, man. It's been a wonderful evening, man. And
It's been great.
it's just
I
again,
appreciate
man.
you.
You know, when I finally decided to do the interview, you know, it was because somebody told me that, listen, man, you ain't just doing the interview for you, man. You know, something your granddaughter might look at 10 years from now. You know, something a family member might look at. They might want to hear your voice 10 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a way for them to hear it, you know. So you got something right here, man, that, you know, like I said, your sons can look at this here now and 10 years from now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you keep doing the great work that you're doing, bro. Don't stop. With the kids, with the A60, playing, you know, being a community leader, man. Keep doing that stuff, man. Don't stop, man. That gives you, that'll keep giving you the motivation to keep doing it, man. You know what I'm saying? You've done a great job with it. I want to tell you that, man. You've done a great job, man.
Thank
Especially with these interviews, man. You're giving a lot of guys a chance to go live and tell their stories, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know,
you.
I've heard all kind of stories, man.
I
You know what I'm saying?
know.
I've heard all kind of stories, man. You know, it's all good, man. Everybody got their story, man. It's their story, man. It ain't my story. It ain't your story. It's their story. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you're doing. You're interviewing people for their story. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, if you want to go around the diamond, you can go around the diamond if you want. You know what I'm saying? You know, you wanna pick out your 9 best or 10 best. You know, I'll allow you to do it because you do it. You know me, I ain't really, you know, like I said, I played with too many people to pick out a name. You know what I'm saying? I've played in so many leagues with so many people, with so many players, with so over the years. Like who I'm gonna give more credit than somebody I played with at Bessie Head or Gershwin, or it's the same league. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna go with even the fact that I played in Kingston. I played with so many guys. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But that's
how,
why
how
it
can I
makes it
pick a
interesting
name?
that you
Like,
give. That's why it's your opinion,
right.
and I think a lot of guys take it as it's disrespect, but it's not. It's just
No, no,
it's
no,
your
no, no,
opinion. Like if I give
no.
my opinion about who I felt was a great defensive first baseman, it's my opinion and what I saw.
Right,
I
right. I
saw
got you.
Benjamin and Heavy play first baseman. I even saw my man from Sleepers play first baseman. I wish I could remember. I'm sorry. I saw him. I saw him at the reunion. My boy was at the reunion. Lefty. He was there.
DeLong,
DeLong. Oh my
too.
God.
DeLong.
Great first baseman. You know. But that's what I saw. But if I had Salam
Right.
was a good first baseman. But if I had to put who I'm going to
Excellent, excellent.
put in game situation, I got to put Lenny B over there.
Right,
You know. I like Jeff Roberts at second base. Sorry.
right,
Shortstop is a toss up. I've seen three of the best, in my opinion.
right,
Butch, Seven, and Cat.
right,
But then I can also use that at them at third base. Well,
right.
Cat didn't go to
Or
third.
or or, or second base.
It didn't right. I can use it if I want.
Cat played second base for us in Kingston. Cat played second,
Exactly.
up the
If I
middle.
really wanted to switch it up,
Right. We had guys that was versatile.
Exactly.
You
Multiple
understand?
positions.
We
And
didn't have guys
different
that
positions.
played just one position. You know, some
As
of
a
them
matter of
guys that
fact,
played the infield, you can also throw them in the outfield.
as a matter of fact, I saw some tournaments. Cat played second and didn't even play short.
Right, right,
Butch played third.
right. We had those kind of players. You
Right.
understand?
So
We
it's
had those
just
kind of guys. And my thing is like, what am I going to say is, because when we talking about all around good players, what am I going to say is better about one guy than is better than another guy?
right.
You understand? Like again, I played with two different Mo Better teams. Everybody I played with just about was, I don't like to call people great, but were all excellent players. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I played with someone like how can I pick up an outfield? I've played with so many guys that all had skill. Like they wasn't, one might have had more power than the other guy.
One was faster than the other. One
Right, one guy might,
everybody did something
but the
different.
guy didn't have to be fast to make plays.
Right. No, I see what you're
You know,
saying.
like Milk wasn't no speedster, but he knew how to get to the ball.
He damn sure do.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
but then, are we talking about defensive guys? Or are we talking about all around players? You know what I'm saying? Like all around, he was first. He hit, played great defense. He had speed. He had this. He had that. Like so. Like, how do I judge the guy? You know what I mean? How do I judge him? I played with a guy at first base, the kid Mike, the Spanish big Mike.
They might. Yeah.
Yo, he was dangerous, man. Great glove, but also had tremendous power to all fields, open fields, any park we played in with this guy. He had tremendous power.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for me to do that. I had outfielders like Darren. Man, I go, Derek, I can go all day. You know what I'm saying? I can go all day. You know what I mean? Derek Matamoda. I don't think he get as much credit as some of these other dudes.
I got a lot of respect for Demo.
But he had a great stick, and he had a great arm, and he had great speed.
He climbed that gate too. He was not scared of that gate.
Right. Now he wasn't scared of that fence.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So, that's what I'm saying. I could be here all day. When they talk about defensive guys, Gmo, Omar, these guys were great defensive players, man. They wasn't, but everybody, they wasn't flashy.
No, I agree with you. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They just did what they had to do. And that's why we won 6 championships in that first Mo Better team that everybody thought wasn't that great. It wasn't that talented, but it was very talented. We just wasn't, everybody ain't part of the cliques, man. You know what I mean? Like, everybody ain't, we had some other guys that played on some of those teams that was, good players, but quiet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Eben at third base, man. I thought he was one of the best third basemen I ever seen out there.
Mm-hmm.
But he was quiet. He wasn't a hangout guy. He didn't drink around. He wasn't one of them dudes. You know what I mean? But Pickett, man, he could pick him. And he had a great arm. And he had a great stick. He had a good stick. But he was quiet. So nobody really paid, because he wasn't out there, but he was a great player. Right?
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Go on and on. You know what I'm saying? The guys that I played with, I could go on and on, man. I could be all night naming dudes.
I agree.
So that's why it's hard for me to pick over somebody. You know what I mean? But it's hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not that you can't do it, like you said. It's your opinion. It's people's opinion.
It's your opinion and what you choose and what you choose to do.
But I notice a lot of people are like they're always picking the same guys. You know what I'm saying?
That's because
for me, I played with so many guys. It's hard for me to pick a guy, especially I played with two teams with two different. It was two different type of teams. Like I said, that second Mo Better team, man. Like I said, I played with 50 guys in 6 years, 50, 60 dudes. That's how we kept replenishing.
Did you play with that Source Money team?
Yeah, I played with that Source Money team.
That's
the last championship we won.
That was a crazy team too.
That's the last team we won with that team. I called that half Spanish Mo better team. That's what I call that. Our Latino team with Frankie Rodriguez and cats.
That was your Spanish team.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like when you play with that many guys, yeah, they didn't play with us for eras like you played with us 3 championships. Well, some of them guys did play with us, Chewy, and some of them guys played with us for 3, 4 championships. You know what I'm saying? Some of them guys played that long. You know what I mean? So, so I'd rather just enjoy the guys I played with. You know, like
I agree. No, that's
I enjoyed them. Because if I say one guy, another guy gonna say another guy, and another guy gonna say another guy, and we'd be out there all night. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to a couple of brothers I was telling you. They was talking about pitching, and he said he was the 15th best pitcher in Kingston. And old boy told me, why don't you go over there and say, I said, listen, man, let me tell you something. I said, if that's how he feel, let him have it, man. I ain't here to bust his bubble. If he think that's what he is, I really think he's doing himself a disservice because 15 is way down to me. But if that's what he think,
listen. I told him you got to pick an era. you talk about you number 15. I said I remember when at least the good teams they had 2 to 3 pitchers that was
right. That's what I'm saying. Like
there. You know 15, that was good.
15.
And
15. So
15. Damn, I can pick 6 teams that had 3. So you have to.
But you know, I'm not out. I'm not out here. Maybe when I was in my my heyday, I might have went there on them. You know what I'm saying? But now, I let guys listen. That's for you, man. If you feel that way, fantastic, man. That's where I've changed that, man. Where I probably would have went off on homeboy. What? You know what I'm saying? I probably would have went in.
90s Jake. He had to catch 90s Jake.
Yeah, he had to catch 90s, early 2000s, and 1985, and
right.
You gotta catch that Jake, man. This one, man, because I know how some people need that. They need to feel, they belong. You know what I mean? So I ain't gonna burst his bubble like that, man. That's what you need.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be that. So be it. I ain't about that. I'm about winning. That's what I'm about.
Chips, baby.
I mean, that's what people don't remember all the great pitchers, but they remember the champs. They remember winning. You know what I'm saying? Like when we talk about winning.
What they said, the loser. What Christian say? The loser's locker room.
Loser's locker room, man. I don't want to be in that locker room, man. It tastes like my man said. The beer don't taste the same. Soda don't taste the same.
Nothing.
The food don't taste the same.
Nah.
You ain't hungry.
Women ain't looking at you the same.
Like the cigar ain't lighting right. Ain't smoking right. Problems. You got to keep lighting it up. Light up right. That losing locker room is it's a terrible feeling, man. And I'm glad that in those 2 parks, I only got a chance to feel that once. And that was when y'all beat us.
And that was beautiful.
That's it, man. And in the other park, I only got a chance. In the other park, I only got a chance when Genesis beat us.
That champagne tasted so good.
You know what I'm saying? So, but again, because I've been playing so long, I was playing against little brothers. I ain't feel so bad. Yeah, I wanted to win, of course. Yeah, I didn't like losing. It ain't like some team came from out of town and came in there and beat us. I got beat by guys I played with everywhere.
And that was the thing too. Even though we didn't play together, we hung out during the week.
Right.
Like you said, transit. We saw you. You know what I'm saying? The hospital league, we saw you. So it wasn't like we played against each other. We battling. Now we on the same team. Right. So it was friendly banter.
Like I played with Showtime in 202. I
Exactly.
played with Tio and them out there for several summers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's not like,
Yeah. I remember playing with Backdraft. I mean, not
hey,
Backdraft. Sudden was they Sudden Death? Sudden Death.
Sudden
That's the name
Death.
of that
That's
team?
another team I played with for 3
Yeah.
years, man.
Sudden Death.
Tournament-wise. We went
Yeah.
all over the place, man.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun with that team. Me and my wife was going
Man.
to tournaments all the time, man. Yeah, that was a good program I played with them guys,
Yeah, it was
man.
good.
And they went a lot of nice places, man. I can say that. You know what I'm saying?
But
So
everybody couldn't get on those teams.
no. And you
Let's
know
be
what?
clear.
They didn't want everybody.
That too.
You know what I'm saying? Because they could have got better guys. They wanted guys that was gonna stay within the family.
Show up, be consistent,
Have
and
some,
not be a knucklehead.
come and play. We're gonna try to win this thing. We don't need no egos. That's the beautiful thing I loved about our team, man. Out there in Kingston. There was no egos, man. Everybody was one purpose and one purpose only, to win.
Win the championship.
That's it. That's if we came up short of that, it was a failure. It was a failure. If we came up short of that, it was a failure. The season's a failure. Any pro team, any team that's out here will tell you, if we lose in the Super Bowl, we lose in the World Series, if we lose it, it's a failure. As far as
anytime you don't win at all, I don't care how you do in a regular season. If you
that's
don't
right.
win at all, it don't matter.
Listen. No, you know what? I tell my man, I can barely remember who we beat in what year. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't remember that. I don't remember. I ain't. Oh, in 2001 we beat, or in 2002 I don't even remember. I don't care. I know we won. I ain't keeping no record book.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I could care less, man, who we beat. As long as we came out championship at the end of the day, man.
That's all that matters.
That's it. That's all that mattered, man. And I'm glad I was able to play with you on 3 of them championships, man.
That was fun.
You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I was able to play with you on those, man.
But
And like I said, I always bring up Glen Cove, man. Because they didn't expect us to win out there. They didn't expect that.
We beat. Wasn't that the top team to beat?
We beat the Minutemen Press, man. Minutemen Press. That's the team we beat in the championship, man.
Beat all those white boys.
Yeah, and they didn't expect us to. There was the brothers from Brooklyn and whatever. They didn't expect us to come out there and do that, man. And we shocked them, man.
They behind out. They had. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, and you correct me, didn't we double dip them?
Yes, we had to double dip them.
We had to. Yeah.
We had to double dip them.
We had to double dip, and we blew them out both times.
Right. No. Actually, the second game they was up. They was up.
They was up the second game?
They was up. That's when I hit the 3-run homer. It was up.
I'm telling you, I think they still looking for that ball.
I hit the 3-run homer in the bottom of the 6th inning, and the top of the 7th, we got him out 1, 2, 3. And he was beating us. We both had one loss. No, man, we didn't double dip them. We both had one loss. We only played them one game.
Well, remember, we had to come back.
No, that game we had to come back. We was losing.
No, what I'm saying, we had to play another week. Remember, we played them in the middle of the week. That game was in the middle of the week because I came back from school.
Okay, all right, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we had to play them in the middle of the week. I remember them playing them in the middle of the week.
Right.
But anyway, we won.
Right,
so
right. Yes.
Don't matter.
Yes. But
we won that championship.
But again, we won that one, man.
Yeah.
We won that one. You know what I'm saying?
Can't take nothing away from that.
Yeah. That's the thing you can't take away from somebody, man. Can't take championship.
Not when you beat teams like that. I think we beat Deluxe Bakery in Jersey. Didn't we beat them too?
I'm telling you, I'm one of them guys that I don't remember the losers, man.
Tony knows all.
Tony probably got stats. He got stats in his house, man.
I wouldn't be surprised if.
I'm telling you, he got stats in his house, man. He got stats, man.
I know that was our LNS team. Yes,
he got books. Listen, he got books. He got books from every team he coached. Every team he coached, every game, he got the book. He can go back to any time as a coach. He got every stat. Batting average. He got all that.
I would like to see those books.
Yeah, man. All you gotta do is ask him. Ask him for a year. Ask him for a tournament. Ask him
Oh,
for.
I'm definitely gonna ask him.
He got it, man. He got it.
I'm gonna go back to my first tournament. I want to see how I did that
He
first
got
one.
it. He got it, man.
Yeah, I definitely want to ask him.
You know. But again, man,
Yeah.
we're gonna wrap it up, man.
Okay.
You know, did pretty good, man. You know, had you in here for almost 3 hours, man.
It's easy work.
Easy work, man. Listen, it's easy to do an interview when you're interviewing somebody you love, man.
That's what I say all the time.
You understand?
It's just conversation.
When you listen, when you respect the person that you're doing, and y'all got great history, it's an easy interview, man. You know, we was talking about stuff we love to do. We was talking about stuff you love to do. That was easy, man. That ain't hard, man. You know, that's an easy thing to do, man.
I appreciate you doing this. I
Listen,
appreciate
I
you giving me
thank
the time.
you. I thank you for allowing me, man. I thank you for allowing me. And I'm hoping I'm around for the fourth quarter interview.
That's going to be very
You
interesting.
know what I'm saying? I'm hoping I'm around for the fourth quarter interview, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'll be 79 years old, but I hope I'm still around. You know what I'm saying? Well, 78. I'll be 78 for the fourth quarter interview. You know what I'm saying? And I hope I'm still around, man. Because
Red said we lost the Deluxe Bakery in New Jersey.
In New Jersey, so that's another tournament.
They slaughtered us after Hit and Run smoked us.
Yeah, that's another tournament.
Then he said you yelled "swell up" after Tap hit it out and Deluxe went crazy.
Yeah.
See, Reg, they know it. They know it.
No, Reg is another one. Reg got the history. You know what?
Yeah.
Reg, Doug is another one.
Yeah.
That's good with the history, man.
Yeah.
You need some history, man. You can call Doug too. Reg, Doug. Yeah, them brothers know all the history, man. They know all the history, man. But you know what? The history is mostly of winning.
That's right.
That's the bottom line, man.
And they
That's the
can't
bottom
take
line.
that from you.
You know what I'm saying? And
can't take what we did.
Yeah, that's right. Can't change it, man. You know what I mean? And those that don't want to accept it, it'll get better for y'all. You know what I mean? But you can't change what's happened. That's why they call it history. Man. Can't change it. Can't protest. Can't do none of that. Just, I sit back, man, and just enjoy it. I've enjoyed it. I enjoy talking about it. I enjoy cracking jokes about it.
Yeah, it's always fun.
Sometimes I gotta crack some jokes, man. I gotta let
people. Always entertainment in with it.
I was sitting on the bench one time and I had the ring on. I think I told you that before. And I had to tell a couple of cats, yo, man, this is the 5 and better championship ring, man. Bench. It's a 5 and better bench, man. If you ain't got me, Al Watson,
some people be sitting over
Chris was over there. Chris was over there.
I think that was one of the old timers game. I was there for that one. I think I was there for that. I remember that.
No. It was your event. It was your event.
That's what I'm saying. Wasn't we sitting on the bench?
We were sitting on the bench. We were sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
We sitting on the bench.
I remember that. Yep.
And I think Vinny came over there, man. I said, yo, this is the 5 championship bench, man. Can't sit over there. But then I laughed. I hugged him. You know what I'm saying? Because Vinny, like people don't realize Vinny always got a special place in me and my wife's heart. Always, man. My wife was getting ready to go to Iraq. And she had one of them late night flights, man. It was late. We showed up. I don't know what time it was. 12, 11 in the morning. Or I don't know if it was 4 or 5 in the morning. I don't know what it was. It was late flight. A late flight or early flight.
Right.
She had a seat, man. She was in the back row for one of them 14-hour flights, man. 15 hours. Back row, middle seat. And Vinny was working in the airport, man. And we saw, hey, Vinny, what's up? We come to the window. She gave Vinny the ticket. And he looked at it, he said, nah, we can't do you like that, man. Can't do family like this. And he turned around, man, changed it up, and gave her first class seat. So,
Yeah, that's when he was working for American.
yep, yep.
Yep, I remember that. Yep.
Gave her first class seat, man. So you can't say nothing bad about Vinny in here.
Yeah, that's right. That's my dog.
You
I
can't
got a
say
story about Vinny.
can't say nothing bad about Vinny in here, and you can't say nothing bad about Vinny around me. You can't say nothing bad.
I got a story about Vinny.
You know what I'm saying? So
Vinny,
he my man. He my man for life, man. You can't say nothing bad about him.
people don't realize what Vinny done for a lot of people. And
Yes.
and you told the story about American Airlines. I remember coming home one weekend, and I said, "Man, I'm out there at school, and I can't, because they wouldn't let us work, when you're on scholarship,
Right.
Man, I'm tired of just not having no food and all of that." Then he said, "All right, don't worry about it. Send you a package." Then he
Mm.
sent me a package. He said, "Anytime you need something, I'll send you a package. Just tell me when you need it." And,
Mm.
that, and the whole time I was in school, that's what he did.
Right. See, that's the part of people that people don't. You know.
He was the reason I got to the Dallas Mavs workout. Gave me those buddy passes on American. Gave me those me and Salam buddy passes to fly to American. Yeah.
Yeah. See, people think it's only, people think it's all softball. It's not.
No,
It's
it's
not.
not.
It's not. But through the sports, man, you meet a lot of great people, man.
You meet a lot of us know each other because of
Meet
what
good
we did on
brothers,
that
man.
diamond.
Yes. Meet
So
good brothers,
you
man.
can't take nothing away from that diamond. That diamond brought some great relationships
Yeah,
together.
great relationships, man.
That's lasting forever.
Lots of laughs, man.
Right.
Lots of laughs, man. Lots of laughs.
Yeah.
And I pray to continue, man. That's why I
That's
said,
right.
doing what you're doing, just keep doing it, man. Keep doing it. Because if I just get it that one time a year, I take it, man.
Yeah.
I take it. I take it, man. Because that this year it was off the chain, man.
It was crazy this year. Mo, what up, Mo? I see you checking in late. Desmo checking in.
What's up, Mo? Yeah, man. But listen, again, man, I'm gonna let you go, bro. And again, it was a pleasure, man, and an honor doing this, man. I thank you for allowing me to do it, man. I really do.
Thank you for doing it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and listen, man. Listen. We've been trying to do this for what? Supposed to been already. Just like we've been waiting a few months.
Right.
We've been waiting a few months.
It's supposed to have been happened.
we've been supposed to be happening a few months, but
yeah.
Listen, it happens when it happens. That's when it happens.
It don't change anything. It just happened.
Nope. It just happened, man. And it's been great, my brother. It's been great. Listen, I'm gonna let you go ahead, man. All the listeners, man. I hope y'all enjoyed our interview. I hope you'll learn something more about Al that you didn't know, and now you know. And it was all good. So all you did was learn about how good a brother he is and what he's done in his lifetime, man. So I'm gonna let you go, my brother.
All right.
Peace out. And we're gonna talk real soon.
All right, my brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Bro. You got it, man. Easy, man.
All right. Man, I gotta give a shout out to my brother Jake, man, for sitting in doing this interview with me. Appreciate it, man. He stepped up and said, "Hey, I want to do this with you," and I'm very grateful that he did this. Very appreciative that he did it. Shout out to everybody at the A60 reunion. I'll be posting pictures this week, so please, if anybody posted any pictures, if anybody have any pictures, post them. I'm gonna post what I got and post everything. Shout out to everybody that attended. Shout out to everybody that participated. Shout out to everybody that cooked and gave desserts and food. Everything was appreciative. I really appreciate everybody. And again, we'll be back for year 7 next year. A60 is out. Peace and love.